Greetings, everyone. It's what you asked for.
Repeatedly, over and over and over again. Guys, is there any doubt that we weren't going to do this video? I mean...
I think I was most shocked Monday night when people were asking, you going to do your E3 impressions video? And I'm like, guys, Nintendo hasn't even gone yet.
Yeah, but who cares? Do it.
Fast forward days later, and all our brains are fried.
Oh, man. I basically just needed to take today to recharge my brain, because even after Nintendo's conference, I basically spent the last 3 days glued to their live stream channel.
Or at Best Buy.
or at Best Buy. True.
I always take the week of E3 off. Just like in terms of just activity. Physical activity, I'm still up and about, gotta make sure I eat and shit like that. But mentally, I just shut off. My eyes are glued to the computer screen the entire week because I don't want to miss a beat. With that said, this will probably not be compromised of everything that went on this year's E3, just the shit that really seemed to matter. But we're going to go down by conventions like we always do. Microsoft.
There are only two that mattered.
The EA,
Yeah.
Ubisoft, Sony, Nintendo. Like Square Enix had their own little thing at one point.
Where they announced all of one thing, yeah.
What did they announce? I didn't even hear that they had their
Final Fantasy Type 0 for PS4.
Oh,
yeah, it was an HD re-release.
Oh, so they'll finally get it. Oh, man, now I can't tease the people on the forums I go to about it anymore. Damn it.
Yeah, I was about to say, hey, at least we're getting it.
Yeah, I mean, everybody wins, I suppose.
Except for me, I don't get to make fun of the people who've been wanting it for 5 years.
You're an evil man, Ted.
And I love it.
Ace Attorney Investigations
Got
2.
a release date. Oh, not Investigations 2. Leighton Cross Ace Attorney got a release date.
What is it?
Yeah, it did. It's like September something, I think. I need to check.
Phoenix going to lawyer against robots?
I don't know. I've been good about spoilers on that one. And Investigations 2. So, I'm not really even sure.
You know Investigations 2 is never going to get released here, right?
Hey, that fan translation will finish one day. They're 3 cases in. When are you going to finish the 4th, guys? God damn it.
I don't know. By the way, there's a helicopter swarming around outside right now. I don't know if you guys can hear that.
What mass shooting is going on this time?
Yeah, I don't know. Well, I'm going to edit it out, so you guys wouldn't be able to hear it anyway. Oh, now it seems to be gone. Thank God. Okay, that's going to save me a hassle. Just to go quickly on the Ace Attorney, is that physical release, digital download only?
No, I think Leighton Cross Ace Attorney might be physical. I'm not sure.
Because Leighton's pretty big in the West.
Yeah.
Okay.
The Ace Attorney trilogy thing that they announced is digital only, though.
Yeah, I know that much. Okay. Shall we start with Microsoft then? Just to set the mood here, I had jury duty that first day of E3, and I missed everything.
You're racist to everyone?
No, I just didn't qualify, period. So 7 hours wasted, and I got a check for $9, which essentially paid for my sandwich that I bought there during lunch break. It was a good sandwich. That sandwich was the best part of the day.
And if being racist doesn't work, there is one failsafe that works in all situations. Start every sentence with, according to the prophecy.
I can't answer that question, but I'm sure the Dark Lord will know. Let me contact him. Okay.
You do know that's a good way to get the CIA to follow you for like a month, right?
But it beats jury duty.
The paranormal investigation side of the CIA, yeah. Before I was able to sit down and watch it, catch up on everything, I already got a lot of live tweets and people saying, Johnny didn't really miss anything. But I usually don't let that stop me. I don't know why you guys bother telling me you didn't miss anything. I'm going to fucking watch it anyway.
I didn't. I had a doctor's appointment during Microsoft's conference. I came back. I went on Twitter. I said, okay, I'm back. Did I miss anything by not watching Microsoft? Twitter told me no, so I said, oh, so I didn't. I just looked on IGN to see what games they announced.
I watch it anyway just to get myself enveloped in the atmosphere.
Everything's covered in foliage.
And everyone had those glowy wristbands that changed color. I guess they're mood rings, or they're either zappy collars for if you didn't applaud the game that was being shown at the point in time.
Although apparently there was a Twitter pic of someone in the audience actually asleep.
Oh, yeah.
Really? I saw that.
I did.
Oh, God. Oh, that's terrible. Just to sum up, Microsoft, with all the damage control they had to do last year, their conference this year was remarkably solid in terms of what they promised to deliver, which was games, and they did.
Okay, hold on. Let's see. The Wikipedia page says that there was Forza, evolve.
Forza Horizon 2, which see, here's the thing. When a conference becomes nothing but games, at that point it's a matter of preference, whether or not you are a fan of that particular series of games or not.
Yeah.
So in the case of Microsoft, Forza Horizon 2, I don't even have an Xbox One, so I can't even comment on a lot of these games, but even if I had an Xbox One, I wouldn't get something like Forza Horizon. I'm just not into the real-life simulating car experience.
And honestly, it's not really a system seller because it's basically just Microsoft's answer to Gran Turismo. So
Honestly, I never got the appeal of Gran Turismo either, though.
Games like Forza Horizon and Gran Turismo are for car nuts. Absolute car. Like my brother Mark, he's a car nut. He loves Forza, or he loves Gran Turismo, whatever one he can get his hands on. He just loves. He spends most of the damn game just detailing his car.
I don't get the obsession with cars. I mean, don't get me wrong. I like cars. They get me from point A to point B without walking, and I appreciate that technological step forward. But I never got the appeal of pimping my ride. I promise I'll never say the words "pimping my ride" ever again.
Thank you.
I don't know. It's just whenever I see any sort of car that's not just like a normal car, like if you like amp it up in any way, I just see, oh, what is this guy compensating for? That's just all I see.
It's simple wish fulfillment. That's all it is. You can get away in the fantasy car you always wanted. It's not real, obviously, but damn it, you can pretend it is.
Well, if I'm gonna want the fantasy car I've always wanted, it's gonna have rocket boosters, laser guns, and it can fly. Can you do that in Forza or Gran Turismo? No? Okay then, this game sucks.
What about the car built for Homer?
$80,000?
When it comes to Microsoft's conference, I didn't really care for that game, and when I look back on it, I mean, yeah, they did deliver a lot when it came to the games.
The only game I see people talking about any amount is Sunset Overdrive, I think it was. And even then, I appreciate bright colors and stuff, but it does look like just every other action-y, shooty game that I've seen the past couple of years.
I'm willing to at least give it the benefit of the doubt.
Well, no, I'm not saying that it's like it's going to be an awful game. It'll probably be just fine. It's just I don't see gameplay-wise what was supposed to set that apart from, like, I don't know, anything else.
I think it's exactly what you just said though earlier. It's because it's not grim and dark, you know.
Yeah,
we got people turning into mutants because of energy drinks. You don't take that seriously from the get-go, and I think that's what they're banking on. I'm pretty sure it'll be just fine. In terms of other games, like I was already familiar with Evolve, and apparently now there's like more than just one. Because when I played the game at PAX East, I got the impression that there was only going to be one monster called the Goliath. And no, but there's actually multiple classes of monsters.
Cthulhu Fatang.
Yeah, there was a Cthulhu-like beast. That looked pretty cool. And I'm curious to see what other beasts are. But, again, Evolve is something I can't exactly purchase because I don't have an Xbox One. Games like Dragon Age Inquisition, Project Sparked, which got that oh-so-lovely tease of Conquer at the very end, which pissed a lot of people off.
Because Microsoft has no idea what to do with Rare.
Well, it's not even that. It's just that the implications was that, they're not going to bother making a Conquer game. They're going to let the player make the game themselves because they can't be asked to make a new Conquer game for the fans.
I get the joke. I get that they were just trying to be tongue-in-cheek about it, like Nintendo with their "Where's Star Fox" thing. But I think the problem is that, well, one, I don't think they did it very funnily, and also
Humorously.
It's just like people see Conquer up there like full model, they expect something more, as opposed to like a Robot Chicken sketch.
Wasn't it during Microsoft's conference as well we got that Capcom game with a long name?
At least someone at Capcom is aware their naming practices are stupid.
Yeah, the Dead Rising 3 DLC.
Super Ultra Dead Rising 3 Arcade Remix Hyper Edition EX Plus Alpha. Just rolls right off the tongue.
Yeah. The sense of humor is there. I like that. Not a Dead Rising guy though, so that's where I stop.
Yeah. At least someone at Capcom is aware their naming practices are stupid.
If I were to get an Xbox One, the Halo Master Chief Collection, I would consider adding that to my collection because I do have very fond memories of Halo 1 and Halo 2 especially. Halo 3 not so much, but it's still there. I never played Halo 4. But I would definitely get that. I love Halo.
Yeah, I like the first two Halo games.
Yeah.
What was wrong with the third one? Well, other than the third one always seems to suck for some reason.
Fundamentally, nothing. It was still Halo. Shinier coat of paint. I think at that point I just moved on to other things because it was around 2011 4 or 5, where I discovered Resident Evil 4.
That was also when we were starting to get our Call of Duty Modern Warfares and everything was becoming a shooter.
At that point, I moved on to Resident Evil 4, Metroid Prime, all those other games, and Halo is just something I'll go back to if my friends want to stop by and want to get a few rounds in.
It's getting scary when games we remember having big launches are getting remade for anniversary editions.
Come back when Metroid Prime gets an HD treatment.
It's old enough, too.
Yep. I know. Shut up. What about that dragon game, Scalebound?
You mean not Devil May Cry?
What did you guys get Devil May Cry from? I didn't see
super
it.
Super slashy combo.
White-haired hero.
That's it? White-haired hero?
It's a Platinum Games game.
Made by Hideki Kamiya.
Alright, I guess so. That's not enough for me, personally. But
it was Dragon Age. I saw... Not Dragon Age. Devil May Cry with dragons, honestly.
No, okay, I saw the dragon doing most of their stuff.
It's like white-haired, cocky main character made by Hideki Kamiya action game. It's like, oh, hi, Dante.
Did he have a pair of headphones? The character in Scalebound. Did he have a pair of headphones on?
I think that was it.
It's not fucking medieval. What's going on here? Phantom Dust. No, I'm sorry. Phantom Dust. Yeah. Because this is something they held like this is released over 10 years ago. We're bringing it back as a remake for the Xbox One. And it's like, oh, this will be interesting. And it's a game I never heard of.
No, they said we're bringing back the old franchise. It's like Banjo.
You don't even like Banjo, and you wanted.
Because Microsoft has no old franchises.
I've been waiting for Banjo 3E. Yes, that has to be the title of the next platformer game.
And I'm telling you, that's a dumbass name.
It's been 13 years, but it's not going to happen.
Cry me a river.
I know. It's just I'm not upset about it anymore. I've accepted it and I've moved on. I just understand that it's just not going to happen, and I need to look forward to bigger and better things in my life. Because at this point, I don't even think that if they made a new Banjo game, or a new Conker game for that matter, or anything with a lot of the old Rare IPs that they own, that it would be awful and that good, because they don't have any of the original people still working for them anymore. They've all left Rare.
Well, when it comes to Microsoft, what games exist that are bigger and better things?
I don't know. Well, no, I'm just mean like in my own life. Like, instead of hanging up on the fact that I don't have a third Banjo game, I can just look for other stuff to play. Like, I don't know. Hope for another Paper Mario game that doesn't suck and just plays like Thousand Year Door. It could happen. Shut up.
Yeah, Phantom Dust, I'm looking up the original game now, is at best a cult hit. I'm guessing this is something that a lot of fans just pushed Microsoft on and on and on for. It's like, can we at least get a sequel or maybe a remake? And they finally listened to them, and here we go. So rejoice, Phantom Dust fans. Killer Instinct is getting season 2. I wasn't aware it was a television series. Oh, speaking of television series, apparently that Halo television series has now been relegated to digital series. It's now web only.
Which means it's going to be on YouTube within like 6 hours of each episode being online.
Or on Pirate Bay. Who knows?
Yeah.
Yeah. Microsoft really tried their damnedest not to mention the word TV at all.
Sony probably talked more about TV than Microsoft did, actually.
They wanted to pretend like last year never happened.
You can try, but we don't forget.
Yeah, you never forget stuff like that. But yeah, the Halo series is now, that Steven Spielberg one is now a digital-only series. So whether or not it's still going to get some sort of televised debut, we'll have to wait and see. But yeah, I noticed that was a little detail I noticed when I was watching the conference. Like, oh, it's not a TV series anymore. Crackdown 3, which visually was very interesting. It was explosive.
Wait, did they show any gameplay, or was it just CG?
Oh no, it's just a trailer.
Okay,
You're right.
Yeah, I don't trust
right.
anything that's just CG.
There's no way in hell any of that stuff's actually going to mix it into the game.
It was pretty humorous, though. I mean, just for the sake of just entertaining me, I liked it, if only because, they got this one guy up in the top of the skyscraper. They can't get to him with a measly helicopter, so they do this really fucking elaborate plan where they load a semi with explosives to destroy a support beam on the skyscraper, and then they ram the fucking other semi up to the guy's patio to kill the guy, and it causes a chain reaction that it pretty much decimates like a good third of the city, and it's like mission accomplished. It's like, yeah, we caused a fuckload of collateral damage, probably a few 5,000 casualties, but we got that one asshole. I thought that was pretty funny. But you guys are right. There's no gameplay. It's just a trailer, and trailers are off to do that just for the sake of getting you interested into the game itself.
I think the only 2 bits of gameplay they showed were Dragon Age and Call of Duty.
What about Assassin's Creed?
Yeah, Assassin's Creed Unity was shown there too, and those are honestly the biggest names they had. And that in itself can be the problem. It's pretty much the same problem that Nintendo guys have with either Mario or Zelda, depending on what exactly is being focused on. It's this year it was definitely Call of Duty, and it was definitely Assassin's Creed Unity, because I'm not an Assassin's Creed guy, and I do have I have the first game because it came in a bundle, and I have the third game thanks to Mark. So I have two games, but I am just do not feel like sitting on my ass and finally playing one of these games. And every time I see a new Assassin's Creed game yearly, I mean, this has been a yearly series since its inception, or
Since
Yeah,
the
basically
second
since
game.
the second game.
Just about.
it just looks way too similar. Like the only thing I see are locale changes. Now we're a pirate. Now we're in Italy. Now we're in colonial times. Now we're in the French Revolution, and I'm just not seeing enough to want me to finally sit down and play the game. So anytime they went to Assassin's Creed, I just I rolled my eyes and like, okay, let me see. I mean, I might as well watch it. Who knows?
Oh, look, you're climbing buildings. Oh, look, you're stabbing people.
I'm just not seeing enough of a difference to make me consider finally loading the game up onto my 360 and playing an Assassin's Creed game. Call of Duty, I know what to expect. The Advanced Warfare moniker, I guess, pretty soon it will be Halo. Just in terms of just the futuristic tech they're going to be able to use. The coolest thing about the Advanced Warfare gameplay demo that I saw was the homing grenade. First off, he brought a grenade out and he was able to turn the dial to change its properties. It's kind of like the gun in Judge Dredd.
So we can reuse the same animation for every grenade. Don't have to make multiple
maybe
grenade models.
maybe it's budgeting, maybe. But yeah, he was able to turn the dial to change it between like a flash or frag, and he was able to throw it. But he was nowhere near his target, and then suddenly the thing had a fucking jet booster that launched the rocket up and it homed in onto the target. I thought that was pretty cool.
Resistance 1 did it better.
I just gotta wonder though, because we're talking about yearly series. You get a new Assassin's Creed every year. You get a new Call of Duty every year. Are people ever gonna get bored? Because
No.
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 Well, it can't just be the dude bro gamer, because there really aren't that many of them out there, or at least
No, you underestimate how many college guys there are.
That is a huge understatement there, buddy. There's a lot of them. I mean, think about it, dude. I mean, people are still looking forward to the latest Madden game, or NHL, or what's the other one?
FIFA.
I don't get how people can buy this every single year.
Because the online community.
Well, I get that, but the whole point of an online community is that it extends the lifespan of the same game. Like if you bought a football game, the online community...
No, this is not so much with Call of Duty, because Call of Duty is not so much expanding the lifespan of that particular game, rather the lifespan of the series itself. My dad, really big Call of Duty fan. His friends that he works, he has a job in Pepsi. All his friends over there have Call of Duty as well. They know the new game's coming out. They're going to migrate to the next game. My dad is the same mindset. Everyone's going to be playing this Call of Duty now, so now I have to migrate to that Call of Duty, just for the sake of having someone to play with online. It's a buddy thing,
I get, but it's still... I don't know. I guess especially in terms of like sports games and stuff, it seems like a waste to... It's just like you're throwing $60 down the drain every year. I don't know.
But that boils down to preference at that point.
I just don't understand it, especially with something single player like Assassin's Creed. Because I can get the online argument, but I don't know when will people get sick of buying this game, the same franchise every single year.
I mean, it's not like we're saying that the games are bad, mind you. It's just with how much we hear about it every single year, so much. It feels like it loses its charm somewhat.
Infinity Ward or whatever developer makes another Call of Duty game now is like the next Call of Duty game. You don't say. Yeah, of course they're gonna make a new one every year. That's their bread and butter. They have to do that to keep the money flowing, and they're gonna do it. So that's how it works. Tom Clancy's The Division. The game looks no different than what I saw last year.
It's zombies again, right?
No.
It's a virus.
Whatever. It's zombies. Virus. It's interchangeable.
It's trying to be Last of Us.
I just by the time Last of Us was announced, I was sick of. Oh, there's a virus, but the true enemy is humanity itself because we lose ourselves when we try to survive. I am so sick of that plot line. I just have to say.
We'll get to Last of Us, and I'm sure I can change your mind on Last of Us, but
maybe.
No, but I'm with Ted to an extent. Not so much on the. In an extent, I am pretty sick of it too. I'm more sick of the game where, okay, there's an epidemic, it has enveloped humanity, it's global, all that shit, and the point of the game is to just survive, to see just how terrible the humans have come when they just need the drive to survive. And it's like the same fucking story from beginning to end. It's not a matter of the destination, it's the journey. And it's like, you know what, but I just experienced this journey with the 3 other games I just played last year, and I really am not sold on Tom Clancy's The Division. I can't help but say it now. It's sort of like it just became natural to me now. Tom Clancy is The Division. My opinions on The Division are pretty similar to what they were last year because it was shown there too, and it doesn't look any different than what I saw earlier. So
people will cooperate online. You don't know people.
Oh man, I just hate the scripted talk. The scripted talk needs to go because nobody I know anyway talks like that online. No one's that coordinated.
It's like, I'm sorry, did everyone in the game just have military training?
It's like, newsflash, not everyone in the United States is military trained.
No, it wasn't the Division, but it was that other Tom Clancy game that they showed. I think it was, the Rainbow Six, where
that was EA, but
no, that was Ubisoft.
Or Ubisoft,
yeah, but
right?
I know we're jumping ahead, but nobody online would talk that way.
Maybe if you have really coordinated friends, but that is such a low possibility that it's just unrealistic.
No, they were just too polite. There was not one single racial, sexist, or even not even so much as like a damn it. I don't think.
Not even no racist 12-year-old kids.
Gotta be realistic here with these folks. The only thing else that what do you guys think about Dance Central Spotlight?
No, what? No one cares.
Dancing Boogie? Okay, sorry.
No. How about Halo 5, John?
I don't have an Xbox One. I can't say anything about the new Halo.
Well, the whole point of the conference is to, if you don't have an Xbox One, is to convince you to buy an Xbox One. And I don't think any of these games would be a system seller for me.
Well, considering 90% of those that aren't Halo and Sunset Overdrive are going to be on PS4 anyway.
Yeah, even Dead Rising 3 is getting a PC release. Not that I know.
Well, either being released on the PS4 or on PC, yeah.
Yeah, there was hardly anything that was Xbox One exclusive on there, was it?
Forza.
It's all their exclusives is timed DLC.
Project Spark does look like an okay thing to play around with, but Conquer cameo notwithstanding, it did look okay.
It's their LittleBigPlanet, isn't it?
It's their LittleBigPlanet.
That's great for creative minds. I guess I wouldn't have a real creative mind.
Yeah, even when they just focus on just the games, they still find a way to piss people off by showing Conquer briefly.
Well, pissing off the Conquer fans anyway. Everyone else would wonder, who the hell is this asshole? Let me take you back to the time of the N64.
No, I think pretty much every gamer knows who Conquer is, because I'm pretty sure that everybody's seen the Great Mighty Pooh song at least once.
Mighty Pooh song.
So, people know who Conquer is. I don't think they played his game, because Conquer's Bad Fur Day didn't really sell all that well, I don't think.
It was also at one of the last things released on the N64.
So, it's just he's a cult thing at best.
He is, no doubt. All right, EA
pissed me off.
You start off first because
we're starting out with Star Wars. Oh, are they finally going to show Battlefront 3? That one of two things everyone was actually looking forward to for EA's conference. Here's our vacation photos. We don't have anything actually done yet. See you next year.
Oh, wow. EA was the conference I skimmed over the most, if only because I know what to expect with EA, folks. The only thing remotely I was interested in, just to see how's it going, was not so much, is it Battlefront 3? Because I never played the first 2 games, and I hear Battlefront 2 is actually really good. It was Mirror's Edge 2.
Which they showed nothing of.
That That's something that I think that the first day of E3 had way too much of, is developers sitting in chairs wearing casual clothing, talking about how great it is to be a video game designer, and not showing any actual gameplay footage, or even one of those fancy schmancy CG cutscenes. You know, I hate those too, but it's also, I don't want to listen to developers talk about their game, but also not talk about their game at the same time. I don't like your vacation photos.
Let me tell you about this game I'm making. You got to show me the game? No, but let me tell you how I'm making it.
We visited all the Star Wars sets, and we traveled to Lucasfilm to see all the props and stuff. So have you made any progress on the game? Hell no! We've been on vacation the last year.
Here's my vacation photos of Tijuana.
Do you see? Do you see?
The best part of that conference, though, NHL 2015 is not just a revamp. We have made it totally different. Good one, EA. Good one. I mean, I get that you have to show off your sports games for those investors and stuff, but don't bullshit us. We're smarter than you think we are. We know that it's the same game. Don't pretend that it's not.
Yeah, you can't stray from the formula too much, otherwise you're going to alienate long-time buyers. And the new buyers you have, just for the sake of changes, are not going to last long enough to consider staying with the franchise that long anyway. So yeah.
What I remember at one point during the conference they were showing off the boxing one. I can't remember what it was called.
Oh yeah, with Bruce Lee for some
with uncomfortable model Bruce Lee.
Yeah, and somehow they, when they tumbled on the ground or something like that, and it was a very, very awkward pose. I don't recall when exactly that happened during the conference.
Just become 69ing all over the place.
I don't. Why Bruce Lee? Why?
Because he's famous.
I get that, but he's never had any affiliation with this fighting league, so why?
Maybe maybe it was I'm talking out of my ass here. I don't have any reference or source for this. Maybe he was an inspiration, you know? And if you're inspired by someone and you later on make a mint out of it, you want to thank the person you were inspired by digitally placing his face on someone else's body.
The only way it could potentially work is if they brought in put a Chuck Norris from Enter the Dragon in as well.
The Enter the Dragon model specifically, right?
Yeah. That's the only way it could work.
Yeah, with the manly chest hair, and
yeah, and then the half mullet.
I'm so glad we're past that. EA more than Microsoft has more of a focus on one particular genre. There are exceptions, mind you, say like Battlefront 3 or Mirror's Edge 2,
which they show nothing of either.
So
of those.
Again, the focus was on sports, and you know, unless it's a NFL Blitz, maybe MLB Slugfest or NBA Jam, I'll pass.
Well, they did have BioWare kind of talk for a little bit
about the Mass Effect game that's going to come out in 6 to 7 years.
Whoa, they're teasing something that far along the road?
They're pretty much. They basically had the Mass Effect guys saying, "Oh, we love this universe, and we're already in the pre-alpha stages for things." So it's kind of like, really?
Oh, all right. Realistically, betting, I would say maybe 2 years. We'll get something from BioWare.
Hey, since you guys have Star Wars now, Knights of the Old Republic 3, maybe?
One Star Wars game at a time.
There's only two anyone wants. It's Knights of the Old Republic.
Let them focus on Battlefront 3 and then come back to Knights of the Old Republic.
But that's being made by DICE, not BioWare.
A game styled like Force Unleashed, I wouldn't mind. Like not Force Unleashed 3, starring who's its face?
Fanfiction McGarry Stew.
Yeah, fanfiction McGarry Stew. I don't want him, but
sounds delicious.
Where you're a Jedi or you're a Sith. And you go around and you slice bad guys and robots with a lightsaber and force powers. I'd like a game like that. Polished and stuff. But I'd play a game like that.
Great use of a year's time, EA. We have these two games people have really been looking forward to. We're going to show fucking nothing of them. Dumbasses. Alright, welcome back. We have brought Clement with us.
Aloha!
Alright, so I guess quickly we just went through EA and Microsoft. Anything you had to say?
Both conferences were pretty much same old, same old. I didn't get the footage that I wanted to see. I wanted Battlefront. I wanted Mirror's Edge 2. Teasing Conquer was an absolute slap in the face of Rare fans. So, but that's pretty much all I said. We saw Assassin's Creed. We saw Call of Duty. We saw Halo. We saw Fable. It was more of the same. So.
With that said, shall we transition into what is, no doubt, unless anyone has any objections, the worst convention?
The worst conference?
Worst conference, the entire
Ubisoft?
E3. Yeah, Ubisoft. It's time to go.
Oh,
Yeah,
God.
that conference was really, really boring.
Scripted dancing that wasn't rehearsed at all.
Normally I would say that they could dance if they want to. They could leave their friends behind, but, I'm not sure if anybody's really friends with Ubisoft at the moment, so I don't think that applies right now.
Well, they did get 420 up in this bitch, so I guess you can give them credit for that.
Oh yeah, I forgot about how profane they were at the beginning. I was like, Jesus, guys, there's probably some kids watching.
Last year, I think was one of the only people that complimented Aisha for just having the charisma, for being a host, and oh man, it just seems so lopsided, because in the beginning, yeah, we all commented on it. If you guys follow us on Twitter or anything like that, Aisha was cursing up a fucking storm in the beginning. I was like, oh, she probably got more creative freedom. She's probably choked someone at Ubisoft saying, let me be fucking Aisha Tyler. And let me drop all of these swear words, and then I'm guessing sometime in the middle of the Assassin's Creed Unity trailer Mark II, they said, okay, that's actually not working out, stop cursing. And then she
said something like crap, and I was like, oh man, are we back to PG now?
It was confusing. It was confusing. It was surprising but confusing, and but that's only the tip of the iceberg, though, because Ubisoft, Jesus, there's nothing going on here. We saw Assassin's Creed already, thanks to Microsoft, and we're going to get more of that later when we go to Sony.
They had Far Cry, which was just all one pre-rendered.
which we already saw.
But that was also all. I think when it comes to just having like pre-rendered stuff and no real gameplay, Ubisoft was the absolute worst. I didn't ever end up watching.
They technically they showed that one kind of on-rail section with the helicopter thingy.
Okay, yeah, that's one.
Just to say something positive about it, Far Cry 4, and it's strictly Ubisoft speaking. I'm not just saying the conference in general, but Far Cry 4. The first demonstration I saw, I think it was in Microsoft. You saw the bad guy in the pink suit, and it's very. I love eccentric villainy. I really do. It's one way to really get me involved into the storyline of why I should probably love to hate this guy, and. It made me legitimately curious to actually try out a Far Cry game, because Matt
I hear 3 is really good.
Yeah, Matt goes on to say like 3 is great. And say, you know what, I'll give it a shot, and if I like that, then sign me up for Far Cry 4. But that is where I draw the line, because there was nothing else about Ubisoft that made me interested in anything. Not Assassin's Creed Unity, as I mentioned in the Microsoft discussion.
More dancing.
Oh wait, hold on.
Dancing.
Battlefield Hardline, that was shown at EA's, right? I don't want to backtrack too much, but that looked all right, kinda.
You mean Cops and Robbers?
Cops and Robbers. Well, it's just I appreciate anything that's not just the same old crap that we've gotten before. So, on just on that level, I appreciated it.
I've heard nothing but bad things about Battlefield, though.
In what division? I mean, like online, campaign, or?
I guess purely online, or just... I just know there was a big controversy about the last Battlefield game. About apparently it just barely worked, and like a lot of people weren't satisfied with it.
Yeah, speaking of FPSs, there was no other FPS in that show that looked as monotonous or as samey as Rainbow Six.
Oh, where they had to break into the house? Yeah, that was really...
Well, at the very least, that's a franchise that hasn't had a game in 6 years.
I understand that, but at this point in time, the market is heavily saturated with FPSs. It has no impression.
It's kind of funny, because I initially thought it was going to be another SWAT game.
Yeah, I thought... I was just thinking to myself, watching that footage, you're in my spot. You're in my way, sir.
You're in my way, sir.
And again...
Damn it, Reynolds.
I appreciated it for being like a 15-minute or so gameplay footage. I appreciated
this is true.
That because Ubisoft was nothing but CG.
My only issue was they got to the hostage, and then they left the hostage, and then the terrorists got the hostage again.
And then they get the hostage back, and that poor woman has got to have some
Yeah, she's shitting bricks. Yeah, she is shitting bricks. Also, worst hostage takings ever. Because, you take a hostage for a reason. You threaten the hostage with death if you don't meet demands or if someone pulls something funny. And we're just going to let this little security drone, this security Roomba that's going through the floor right now, it's clearly right there. I can see it right there. It's looking at the hostage to see if she's still alive. I'm just going to let it stare. I'm going to shoot it down. I'm not going to think about shooting the hostage because they're on to us.
At that point, if I was the criminal, once the gun started going off, screw the hostage. It's just a liability at that point. You're not getting out of jail time if you get caught, so you might as well take a chance and try to escape the old-fashioned way.
Exactly.
And a 30-something woman is just going to drag you down. I've watched too many episodes of Law and Order. I know how this works. Here's the thing, though. Rainbow Six fans, because I know that there have to be some.
No doubt.
Could you tell that was supposed to be Rainbow Six before the trailer? Even with first-person shooter stuff, there's a certain style to it that makes you know, oh, that's Halo, as opposed to, oh, that's a Modern Warfare, or maybe Modern Warfare isn't the best pick, but there usually has to be something about it that makes it stand out. Otherwise, why are you playing it? It just looked really generic to me.
Yeah, I'll follow up on that to the Rainbow Six fans, because I've stated already what I thought about it. It looked samey. It looked nothing new. What reason would I have to play a Rainbow Six game compared to something like Call of Duty or Battlefield?
Now with downloadable character Reynolds. You're in my spot, sir.
What reason would I have to play a Rainbow Six game compared to other franchises? Because, the only people I can see benefiting from another Rainbow Six game are Rainbow Six fans. But that's it. Yeah. How do you attract newbies to Rainbow Six? I don't see it.
In my case, it was like, okay, so we finally see the title. And I see it's not just Rainbow Six, but it's another Tom Clancy game.
Well, Tom Clancy just doesn't really mean anything anymore. They just slap his name on it to sell.
I mean, he's dead, so.
Yeah, because, Splinter Cell is really the only Tom Clancy game that seemed to me, because it's got the guy with the goggles with the 3 things on it. That's the only, I think, Tom Clancy Splinter Cell when I see that, but any other game with his name on it, it's just, I don't see the difference. But
they're all novels, aren't they?
Yeah, I think that they are to some extent. I'm not sure. Never mind.
Yeah.
Don't ask me.
Okay. Well, I'm just throwing that out there in case somebody would know. But I remember because I see Tom Clancy novels all the time. I go to a Sam's Club or something like that, or a Barnes and Nobles.
Honestly, he doesn't even write that much. A lot of people ghost wrote for him.
Well, these are probably novels, say 10 or 15 years old that are just getting new publications.
Or at the very least, they were the first game maybe was based off a novel, and then the video games are just really elaborate fan fiction.
Even then, I've played a few Rainbow Six games. I wouldn't say they're story-based, or not heavily on the story. Most of the guys you're interacting with can die and not appear again. So, you'll just get new, squad mates in the next mission or whatever.
So it's like Fire Emblem, only not.
Yeah, only you don't care about them. Oh no, Murphy died. See you later.
You there. You're the new Murphy.
Also, the main character in Rainbow Six 3 was named Ding Chavez. So, Ding Chavez.
That's shorthand for something, right?
I don't know.
All right.
I'd feel really awkward being the person writing that birth certificate, but
Ding! Eureka! We'll name him Chavez.
Ding Chavez.
No, you fool! I just forgot to name him Chavez. The ding didn't count. It's already imprinted on the slip. Shit. All right, I don't want to. All right. I guess the last thing would be Foot Hero, as Clement would call it.
Oh yeah, that workout game.
Oh yeah, I remember. Oh man, now I remember that the game with the awful Eye of the Tiger cover. Oh yeah, and jumping back to Assassin's Creed for a moment. Lord, that cover of Everybody Wants to Rule the World is awful, and you should feel bad.
I went back immediately to the Tears for Fears original after I watched that trailer, and it's not the first time I heard that particular cover too. The morning podcast, the radio show I listen to every morning, they demonstrated it earlier. They turned it off after 5 seconds because they hated it. But
I've never seen a cover miss the point of the original song so bad.
It's only because the lyrics "Everybody wants to rule the world." That's it. That's the lyrics are taken at face value. for that particular trailer, and I just listened to it, I was like, oh, this is, oh. It's like, and I got people retorting saying it's appropriate for the gameplay. It's like, yeah, but maybe for the gameplay, but if I'm going to judge the song it's by itself, this is an awful cover.
Well, if it was less recognizable song, like Everybody Wants to Rule the World is like 80s pop rock cheese, and that's my thing. I love 80s pop rock cheese. It's like my favorite genre of music.
Hell yeah.
Yeah. You don't ruin that on my watch. No.
Yeah, just oh, and but the Eye of the Tiger, the mix, that struck a chord with you as well.
Legends did it better.
No, Legends' remix was amazing. That hurt me inside. That was like, actually, I can't, seriously describe an awful lot of music as ear grating. That I feel like that's being a little bit melodramatic. That was literally ear grating. That hurt me in a way that I don't think should ever happen. And I mean, the game just looks like Wii Fit for the Xbone. I don't see any reason why anybody would own it, because everybody who owns who needs Wii Fit already owns Wii Fit, and it's not gonna Wii Fit on its own,
or just exercising equipment in general.
Yeah, but Wii Fit on its own, or this game on its own, is not gonna help you lose weight. You need to do it along with other stuff. So, yeah, I didn't get the point of it. I thought that this fad had died out like 5 years ago, but apparently I was wrong. So, yeah.
Yeah, push-ups to I don't know, what was it? They're hoarding whales, something like that.
No, they were just lifting increasingly heavy things on their back on screen, which doesn't mean a goddamn thing because you're just doing push-ups.
Yeah, it's just push-ups. You just take away the game. They're just doing push-ups, and that's what they ended on, wasn't it?
No, that was
Rainbow Six.
No, it was Rainbow Six.
Yeah, the Rainbow Six.
Rainbow
Oh, that's right. The Rainbow Six is what they ended it on. I'm sorry. Just got a little confused there, but.
I can't blame you for not remembering how the conference went, though.
It was something I just wanted to immediately forget as soon as I watched it, because there's just nothing remarkable about the presentation in the slightest. I can't think of anything decent to say about it.
Everything they showed off was in both Sony and Microsoft's conference, which made me ask the question afterwards. If all they were doing was showing like cutscenes of Far Cry 4, cutscenes of Assassin's Creed, a car trailer of that.
The car thing where you know what I love the most about my day? Getting stuck in traffic on 95 and 93. I'm totally gonna do that when I get home.
But like, they show all these trailers, but they don't really show any gameplay, and I'm just like, why do you have a conference if you're just showing off all your stuff on Sony and Microsoft anyway? Like, why am I watching this?
There comes a point where you have to look at it from a business standpoint and say that this part is for the investors and this part is for the gamers. I think Ubisoft was strictly for investors, just to let them know that we're still here. We're making all the games that bring us the money. Just let you guys know that we're working on it, but that's about it. If you want the important stuff, go see Microsoft and Sony. Yeah, it was really... Ubisoft was very, very, very underwhelming for gamers. And that's all she wrote for me. That sums it up for me. I can't say any more about that.
Failure.
Yeah, Ubisoft was a big disappointment for me. And it didn't help that, I'm okay with Aisha Tyler, but geez, it felt like she was even worse than last year.
I think they just need a better script.
That's the thing, though. I think Aisha Tyler can do it. It's just that, what happened compared to last year? Oh no, last year I thought she had pretty funny lines too, but she had the charisma. This year she didn't have the charisma at all. She seemed pretty uncomfortable at one point during the conference, and especially like what was it? The head of Ubisoft? He's from France, right?
Yeah,
or
Yves Guillemot.
Yeah, and he had a pretty thick accent, and Aisha just decided, fuck it, I'm gonna go for it. I'm gonna make fun of the accent, and
no one cared.
No one cared. She's shifting her eyes left and right. Yeah, it's like, stop it, just stop. This is already snowballing into an orb of destruction.
Go back to
just
who's
stop
on
it.
Better yet, get Drew Carey in here. Welcome to the Ubisoft conference, where we have no jokes and the games don't matter.
The only game I guess Valiant Hearts.
Oh, Valiant Hearts is coming out less than 2 weeks from now.
Can I say that a game with that sort of plot does not need an art style such as that?
And they brought in the dog, so you know it's going to be a field trip.
Well, no, it's just it's using the UbiArt engine, which is the same one that they used for Child of Light and the new Rayman games. So that instantly gets me interested, because everything that they've used with that engine before has been good so far. So I want more, but it's just this game. They didn't really show me. It's weird because the game is so close to completion, and I know that they have to pull the story card because it's World War I, and the whole point of playing that game is it's going to be depressing. But, I would like to know how it plays. You are far enough along in development. It's coming out less than 2 weeks from now. You could show a little bit of gameplay. At least a little bit.
I'm wondering, though, how exactly this game is going to make me feel.
Bad. World War II sucks.
It's World War One.
World War One. Well, they both suck. They're called the World Wars.
And they brought a dog in.
I'm gonna need a solid reason to play this game that can't be summed up by war.
What is it good for?
What is it good for?
John, to answer your question, I think what they might be going for with the art style is like dissonance. Like, it's kind of it's a very animated art style, but it's a depressing subject matter, so they might be trying to go with You
don't have to tell me that. I know that for a fact. It's intentional. But when push comes to shove, that can be a breaking point for me, because it all depends on what sort of story they're trying to tell. And if the point of the story is it doesn't matter what sort of art style it chooses to convey what kind of narrative they're trying to express, then go for it. But I'm gonna get distracted depending on how they tell the story, because you gotta have some sort of related art style to tell a certain amount of story. Like, you can't retell the events of World War II with characters that look like stick figures. That is a design choice that I just don't think would sell a game.
You got Stick Hitler in there.
Yeah,
Stick Stickler.
Yeah, in the afternoon. Well, who else remembers that one?
Or what is it, Robot Chicken? Little Hitler.
Anybody have any closing thoughts on Ubisoft?
It sucked.
Yeah, okay.
It stinks.
Jay Sherman, everybody.
If the conference stinks, just don't go. If the conference stinks, just don't go. Wait, what am I saying?
So the last conference of day one is Sony.
Honorary second place.
In what way? In positive or negatively?
Generally positively. If a few bad things aside, I think generally they did a good job.
You guys were all with me the day,
Yeah.
right after I watched it. I was pretty pissed after I saw Sony's conference. I've cooled down somewhat since then, but I still think that overall it was not. It was not an enjoyable event for me, and I didn't like most of the stuff.
Well, that middle part aside, I enjoyed it.
Well, no, it was just so much CG. Like, aside from LittleBigPlanet,
they showed more gameplay than the first three combined.
Yeah, well, it still wasn't enough for me, because the only actual long form demo that actually looked like gameplay, that they couldn't have doctored at all, because they had that part where they tried to do the wall jump and the woman couldn't do it right away, was LittleBigPlanet. And I've never played LittleBigPlanet, so I might be being a little bit assumptuous here, but it's another 4-player co-op 2D platformer where you're gonna throw each other into pits because it's funny, and
well, that's why it's up to you to design levels that you can't get away with that. That's LittleBigPlanet's selling point was never the 2D action. It was about how creative you can get with level design.
I guess we'll see come MomoCon next year.
Ever since New Super Mario Bros. Came out, every single 2D platformer has had this co-op and stuff. You can play with your friends, I guess.
Well, I just chalk that up to evolution of gameplay.
Well, I've never liked it. I've never liked playing with my game with my friends because it's never fun. I love Rayman Origins and Rayman Legends, but aside from having a friend do the Murphy stuff, no, play by yourself. It's better that way.
Something I would like to see more modern games do, I'd like modern games to have the option of doing 4-player co-op or take turns co-op, where, it used to be in the old Mario Brothers days where Mario would take this level and then Luigi would take that level. I don't know, just a suggestion to the game devs out there.
They wouldn't do that because they would just argue that it's not interesting.
Hold on, I just thought of a thing for the Wii U. You do that, only Mario playing on the gamepad is doing level 2, and Luigi on the screen is doing level 1. There you go. Nintendo, you got that one for free. Make it happen.
No, that won't happen.
I like LittleBigPlanet 1 and 2, so I'm excited about 3.
It's just, it was definitely one of the better things that they showed because, it looked colorful and there was gameplay. But it's just, I haven't played 1 and 2, so maybe this might be coloring my perceptions, but it didn't do that much for me.
Honestly, once you play it, it really doesn't feel like the new Mario games at all.
Okay, well,
It's a platform, but it doesn't feel like the same game.
Okay, well, we'll see when I finally get a chance to play it, but...
Next year.
Are we all in agreement that No Man's Sky was the best thing they showed in that entire conference?
That was the interplanetary one, right? Where they jumped from planets?
With space dinosaurs.
Yeah, with space dinosaurs. Because that was easily the best thing about that entire conference for me.
Visually appealing, yeah. I don't know what to think about in terms of gameplay.
Well, it's just... It looked like... who compared it to Spore? We were talking that night on Donnie's stream, and somebody compared it to Spore, and I think that's an apt analogy, because it looked like what I thought Spore's space stage was going to be, where, you go to planets and you look around and you fuck with all the different animals, and you can shoot stuff if you want, and you can... that, I think, would be really cool, because when you did it in Spore, you just did like 5 different fetch quests over and over and over again, and it got really boring really quick. So,
from what I got from the No Man's Land trailer was that its selling point was, look how huge this area is. I mean, it's not just a matter.
It's basically just a go around and explore.
It's not just you're not just limited to this planet. You get in your rocket ship, fill it up with the words, and launch yourself up to space, and you can go to a completely different planet, which has its own separate fields. I mean, granted, it's not the first game to ever do stuff like that, but on a scope as this. I can't think of anything else off the top of my head.
It's not like they designed an entire universe. It's procedurally generated, so they've got like templates for, say, 100 different planets, and they just randomize them over a universe.
But the point is, the game is big. My question is, okay, the game is big. What do I do in it?
I guess it's one of those Minecraft, you do whatever you want type of things, which I know isn't necessarily your style a lot of the time. But it was at least the most interesting game that they showed throughout that entire thing.
But what about that bird thingy?
What, the game that
Unity or whatever?
Yeah, oh man, that looked... as a person who normally likes pretentious indie games, even that looked to be like too much pretentious indie games.
Oh, is that the one that was developed by the same people who did... God damn it! I think I know.
No, it was the college graduate people. I think
the one that was focused on sea life.
That was Endless Ocean 2 was the one made by Journey.
You're talking about Entwined.
Yeah, Entwined. That's it.
Oh, Entwined.
The Tempest game.
The game I immediately thought Tempest 2000 when I saw the gameplay. Everything's in a funnel and you're moving in a circular motion to avoid stuff or collect stuff. And I said it on Twitter, and I'll say it again. If it didn't get that E3 push, it wouldn't have sold, because they just think it wouldn't go to sell properly, because it's not your average looking game. It's so majestic looking. You got this orange and blue thing. It just swirls around. It's so pretty, but I don't think the reason why they just announced it for then and there and then say, hey, guess what? It's available now. We're going to Sega Saturn up on this son of a bitch. And
No, you can't go Sega Saturn. You go 420 up in this. I thought Ubisoft established that.
No, Donnie, this is Sega Saturn. Because, Entwined looks like one of those games I wouldn't even recommend you smoking marijuana and playing at the same time.
It's just when they described it, they said, you're 2 souls going through, and I heard that, and oh my god, it's one of those type of game switches went on. And, this is coming from somebody who played Thomas Was Alone and enjoyed it, the game where you're just blocks jumping about,
They literally... They literally explained it as, you are 2 people who are in love but can never be together.
Yeah, it was...
Fuck you, I'm gonna try.
It was just too much for me, honestly, and it's just...
Give us our Indie Award now.
It's...
So much feels.
Yeah, it's eye candy, but damn it.
Yeah, I mean, it looked pretty, but it was kind of like okay.
It's just the messages that you send me when you announce it then and there, and then tell me it's available right now as soon as the conference is over. That you can buy it now. It's like, oh, you didn't have any faith in this at all. So okay, that's good. That'll go and pass. If it ends up being a remarkable title, then good for it. But now the other getting game, the Journey spiritual successor, the one in C.
Endless Ocean 3. It's about time they made a sequel for that. Odd that it's not on Nintendo anymore, but still, it's nice to see them use their new IPs somewhat.
It looks nice at least.
Oh man, I just couldn't help again.
Echo the dolphin flashbacks.
No, it's not so much that people made that joke too though, on Twitter. But when I had to choose between Journey or Guacamelee for the review channel, people were telling me that Journey wasn't so much of a video game, but rather an experience. And I was like, okay, so it's one of those artsy fartsy games, isn't it? Has any of you guys played Journey?
No, but I've seen footage. It's definitely one of those artsy fartsy games.
Yeah, I don't mean to have a negative connotation with that. I don't. It's just how I classify it. It doesn't.
No, I don't. No, here's the thing. I don't mind games that are like actually works of art and truly, really philosophical and make you ask deep questions. In fact, I love games that can do that. But there's a difference between a game that's actually art and a game that's artsy fartsy. I describe pretentious. My own personal definition is something that thinks that it's smarter than it actually is. And I got this thinks it's smarter than it actually is vibe from Journey. I haven't played it, so don't kill me right away, but, that's the vibe I got.
I've played Journey only because a friend of mine from Sonic Paradox actually brought it over when he visited me about late last year. Earlier this year. And one of the games he brought over was Journey, and he had to actually teach me where to go because I spent so much time wondering, what the hell do I do? Where do I go? Because they don't really give you that idea. Because it's one of those games where they expect you to go right into it and not really.
A game that throws you into the atmosphere and wants you to adapt immediately as possible for the sake of immersing the player into the game. I get you.
Yeah, it's pretty much one of those games, and it didn't help that everything's brown and you spend a lot of your time bumbling around trying to figure out what to do, and it didn't really appeal to me all that much. So
what I got from it, and was that the trailer, and for some reason I just thought was going to be the entire game in itself, is one of those like the ocean. Look at it, so majestic. Look at those seals, eels, squids.
Yeah, Endless Ocean 3.
If that's the point of the game, I'll pass because I'm not that kind of guy to begin with. But I'm willing to be proven wrong, just so I can say I played it, or maybe I'll actually enjoy it. But trailers say a lot to me, and that's why they're really important to me. And that game, it's bad enough that I don't like Echo the Dolphin for obvious reasons, and that game is set in deep sea. Fuck
and
no.
It's dark.
Just to jump back on something, the guys who made Limbo are making another game. These guys really fucking hate children.
Well, why would you ever like children? They're annoying and obnoxious.
I mean, I've seen Limbo in action. Elliot Let's played it for the channel last Halloween, and damn, it's like what was this company, or at least the single developer's childhood like? So that every fucking game you make has this kid going through some sort of shitty childhood in a black and white grisly ass setting where death is lurking around the corner from anything. It could be a giant spider, a bulldozer, a neon light sign.
Is Jonan Vasquez involved somehow?
I don't know who that is.
He made Invader Zim.
That's all I wanted to say. Just, damn, cut it out.
There were like 6 different zombie games. And
at least the Dead Island 2 trailer was kind of funny.
It was but it was also all CG, and I got no idea about how the game was supposed to play.
Yeah, no, I completely understand that, but I'm just saying at least it was amusing for the minute it was there.
Amusing or not, we have enough zombies.
No, and then I think at one point where they were having letters coming on the stream, and it's just like, who doesn't like zombies? And I just imagined half of the conference just raising their hands. Completely seriously.
Yeah, I personally thought we had enough zombies, but we don't, apparently. So, Dead Island 2.
And what about Destiny, where that not Whately is totally going to betray you by the end of the game?
Yeah, I totally. What the first thing I thought of was like, hey, look, Guilty Spark. But it's not. It's Schmilty Spark.
I don't get Destiny. I don't get what the hype is about.
It's Bungie's new Halo. That's all you need to know about it.
I get it, but again, I think you guys had made it pretty clear that Halo had lost a bit of it. I guess it's mainstream popularity. I'm sure there's plenty of hardcore fans who would love another game or another game by Bungie, at the very least. But John, if Retro went up next year and announced Metroid Schmime, would you be excited or pissed off?
Well, Ted, I would say that Mighty Number 9 seems to be getting a lot of popularity, even though it's not Mega Man. It's Mighty Number 9.
True.
Yeah, like to be fair to Destiny, it doesn't look like a bad game. It's just kind of okay. We have enough shooters.
Yeah.
I don't see why. Again, I'm not trying to say like the game looks bad. It's just I don't get why people care. Is more.
Well, that's loyal consumers. There are people that follow Bungie because they really liked Halo, back when Bungie made those, and they
during the glory days.
They'll follow them to the bitter end. And even though we make fun of what Destiny really is, Schmalo, then the game in itself could be still the best thing ever. You just gotta...
it still looks like a good game. And
yeah.
And I do enjoy first-person shooters. It's just that there's too many of them. So if Destiny gets really good reviews, I might pick it up.
Same here, without a doubt.
I love that right after the zombie letters thing. For some reason, this technical issue happened, and then all you hear is Hulk smash!
Yeah, seriously. I thought there was like, holy shit, they're going to get the Hulk in this son of a bitch. I was like, oh, no, it's just a sound hiccup.
Oh, yeah, so how quickly do you think the Sony's AV guy was fired? Because there was, the mics did not work that entire conference. People were either too quiet or too loud. I couldn't hear half of what the people were saying during the LittleBigPlanet demo at all. It was just, man.
They hired the people from last year's Microsoft conference out of guilt. It was like, we got a job for you, and then don't fuck up. Oh, you fucked up, you're fired. Go to Ubisoft.
I can't believe this keeps happening. It's amazing.
What can you blame? I mean, can you blame the technicians? Is it the building itself? I mean, they have E3s there every fucking year. You think it will fix it at this point in time?
Maybe the microphones just happen to screw up all at the same time.
They're your basic Logitech USB headsets.
No, I mean, I've had it happen where multiples of the same thing just stop working at the same time.
I mean, when it comes to Sony, I would definitely consider them better by Microsoft, and definitely better than Ubisoft and EA. In the sense that they actually had a little bit of variety in their games, and there was at least most of the comments where we didn't see the same game over and over again, like Assassin's Creed.
There were certainly more games that I wanted to play. I'm not really interested in the Assassin's Creeds, the Fables and whatnot. I was like, Mortal Kombat 10, Metal Gear Solid, Batman. I wasn't excited for Arkham Knight before E3, because honestly I was just like, I played Origins. If this is too similar, I don't know if I'm going to get into this. I think
Batmobile.
But I saw the gameplay footage of Arkham Knight, and I was like, okay, I'm excited again.
Don't get me wrong, it just looks... Don't get me wrong. No, isn't that a bad point? It's more of a joking point. Spoiler warning. I saw it the moment we switched to shift the gameplay. Batman jumps off from the top of the tower and he's gliding through Gotham. I was like, oh my god, this looks gorgeous. Oh my god, look at the detail on that. This is so huge. Oh my god, look how huge it is. Think of all the fucking Riddler trophies. and that's what I'm thinking. It's like, oh yeah, oh no.
Oh yeah.
That's all I could think about. I saw the Batmobile stuff made me excited, and I was like, yeah. I was going to buy Arkham Knight anyway, regardless, because I know Rocksteady is going to make a great game. But, oh man, I am dreading Gotham, if only because I just hope they do something to streamline the Riddler shit. I really hope they do. That's my only fear. Other than that, it's going to be a game I'm going to buy definitely day one. So
good thing you're afraid because Scarecrow's involved.
Yeah. Oh, well played, Rocksteady.
Yeah, really damn good Scarecrow design though.
The only thing, not necessarily about Batman, but more about a Sony conference itself, is one that I think it was not very entertaining to watch. It went on for
2 hours.
2 hours.
2 hours,
It went over a half an hour longer than they said it would. So, I was really bored by the end of it. And, again, as someone who doesn't own a PS4, the whole point of the conference is to show stuff that would make me want to get a PS4. But
well, as I mentioned before, you weren't going to buy one anyway.
Well, no, here's the thing. The I want the conference to be able to convince me to buy a PS4 because there are a couple of games that I would get if there was like the one thing that would tip me over. Like I would get Final Fantasy 15. I would probably get Kingdom Hearts 3, even though I would have no idea what's going on.
No one who
No
does
Man's
follow the
Sky.
game knows what it is.
But
Just buy it
it's
anyway for the gameplay.
They showed so much stuff that not only you could get on an Xbox One, but they also showed an awful lot of stuff that was available on like last gen tech too. Like Mortal Kombat 10, it looked like a great. It was a pretty entertaining trailer, but I could get that for PS3 or 360 if I wanted to. There's no reason that I need to buy a PS4 for that. So it's just I don't know. It didn't convince me that I needed to go run out and buy a PS4 right now. It was just kind of.
Yeah, the fact that Mortal Kombat X is it being pronounced X or 10? I hear X.
I would say X because
the fact that X is coming out also on the PS3 and Xbox 360 is the reason why I think this is going to hold the game back in a sense before it goes true next gen. I'm normally not one to really care about that sort of argument, but I know for a fact that it's not going to have the potential.
Well, that's why Arkham Knight is going purely next gen.
Yeah, the next Mortal Kombat game after this will definitely need to make that jump. You have to have a PS4 3 or 1 at that point in time. With that said, the game itself I'm still looking forward to because 9 I thought was a fantastic Mortal Kombat game.
Injustice was a good game.
Yeah, I definitely got Injustice vibes looking at the gameplay trailer. Injustice definitely was a beta version of X. With using the environment and stuff to, wall up your opponent and shit like that, and I'm looking forward to it. The new characters that were demonstrated, I'm not sure how I feel about the giant with the girl on her back, and the moment I see a B character, I think of QB from Darkstalkers. That's the first thing that comes to my mind. But I know it's going to be good. I'm looking forward to it, and I can't wait to. I want to see if it still has a story mode because 9 story mode was so ridiculous. And
Ryan
just goes back in time again.
The second time's the charm.
Well, you can't really have a story in this franchise because the whole appeal of Mortal Kombat is watch everybody die in really, really bloody, awful ways.
Yeah.
But you can't have a story when all of your characters keep on dying in awful. Oh wait, Game of Thrones. Never mind.
Yeah.
But you can't. But this is a fighting game series, and you can't introduce new characters like George R.R. Martin can.
Speaking of which, if you donate $20,000 to a charity, you can get yourself killed in Game of Thrones.
Wait.
Yeah, if you donate like $20K to like a charity or something like that, he'll write you as a minor character in the story and basically kind of like an extra and have you get killed.
Oh, so you become a red shirt from Star Trek.
Pretty much, yeah.
Huh.
Money well spent.
Yeah. Speaking of other games that are, as Ted mentioned, there are like I counted 3 games that were getting the PS4 treatment. Last of Us, obviously. First, The Last of Us. That trailer they showed in the conference didn't look any different than the PS3 version.
I did not get why that trailer was like 3 minutes long, and I was like, guys, that game is already out. And then they showed Grand Theft Auto 5, and I was like, guys, this game is already out. You all probably already own it. Would you really buy a game that you got last year again? Really?
Yeah, because the PS4 is the thing, man. I know. PS3 is old news.
I wouldn't even buy, I wouldn't buy a game that I just bought a year ago again.
Well, I play Last of Us enough, and I'm going to have to put the PS3 in the box at some point, so having it on my PS4 is kind of nice, but that's the only one, just because I like the game so much. But
I don't own a PS3, so I'll be getting Last of Us when I get my PS4.
Yeah, there's that too.
So it makes sense for someone like Clement, but for everyone else,
the game sold something like 12 million copies.
Because the game's amazing.
Whatever.
Wait for the commentary.
But it's just but there are more people who own The Last of Us than who own PS4, so I can't imagine that there are that many people in his specific situation, is more what I'm saying.
It's like I'm not going to buy Grand Theft Auto 5. I have it for Xbox, so I don't see the need to buy it for PS4 when I do get a PS4. But
I'm just waiting for the PC release so we can put Carmageddon in again. Carmageddon is such a good time.
Bloodborne, I
don't get it. I did not get it.
It's being made by the people at Dark Souls.
Okay, I get that, but that trailer was so boring. Oh, it's more zombies, yay! And then you kill them in bloody ways, and then it was all CG, and I just
No,
did not.
I showed you the gameplay that leaked earlier, right?
No, I didn't. Like, how does it play? Is it like?
It's kind of hack and slashy,
So it's basically just gonna be Dark Souls again.
pretty much.
Dark Souls in a different setting.
Yeah.
Meh. Like the last Dark Souls game just came out like a couple months ago. So
The last Call of Duty and Assassin's Creed came out a few months
Yeah.
ago. So.
This is nothing new.
Okay,
Ted.
this is just me. But if I just bought, I bought Mario Golf, and I love Mario Golf. I've already put in like 100 hours into Mario Golf. If Nintendo announced at E3 another Mario Golf game, I would not be happy. I would be pissed because I had just bought a Mario Golf game. You get what I'm saying?
All right. I get what you're saying, buddy. Would you be more pissed at the oversaturation or the fact that you're going to buy it anyway and you're pissed at yourself because of that?
No, I wouldn't buy Mario Golf again.
You would.
No, I probably not.
Yes, you would.
Maybe both.
You see, that's just how it works. I mean, especially if you get for the fans that are dedicated to that particular franchise. Me, Bloodborne, I looked at it and I just said, "Wow, this looks generic as hell." But
It looks all right.
That's what it's like, generic, not necessarily good, not necessarily bad. But as soon as I made that tweet, I had the Dark Souls Armada knocking on my door, saying, "Dude, this is made for the same people as
Exactly.
It's from Dark Souls. They're like, it's gonna be great." It's like, okay, if you say so. I was not sold, so
You can't underestimate the Dark Souls community right now.
I
because They
know.
are rabid, and they think Dark Souls is like the second coming of Christ. And,
You can't underestimate any communities, especially around E3.
no, you really cannot.
Another game like that, the Order 1866, is that it? That looked really boring too. And if you, I think Hayden, Hyperbit Hero, he uploaded a video a couple of weeks before E3 that sort of highlights some distressing things that the development team said. Like they said something like, they were asked, what's your favorite part about making a game, the stories, the visual lore, the gameplay, and then they basically the team said something like, it's a game, so we kind of have to put gameplay in there at some point. And I was just like, oh.
hey, bright side, it's werewolves and not zombies.
Yeah, what do you think
I
about
couldn't
that?
tell that. You know how long it took me before I could tell that guy wasn't a zombie though in that trailer. It took like 5 minutes of that trailer before he's not a zombie. He can talk. Oh, because he acted like a zombie for most of it.
Yeah.
So yeah, I don't get the Order. I don't get the appeal of that game either.
We're getting to a point where a lot of games just have such similar dark and gritty art styles that a trailer alone cannot push the game, which is why we get on cases on Microsoft or Sony or Ubisoft or EA to demonstrate via gameplay. Trailers are just, on and off. Bloodborne. Wasn't convinced by the trailer. I need gameplay. Didn't show me gameplay, then I'm sorry. You're going to have to wait a little longer for me to convince myself to purchase it. The similar thing with the Order 1886. And pretty much everything else that has a similar art style that just makes it blend in with every other game that's out there at the moment. You're not going to show me gameplay, and I'm sorry, then you're not getting any money from me yet.
It especially means a lot that, considering E3 is a gaming expo, we expect games.
Well, there are, if you go.
Yeah.
That's what. Yeah, and I'm trying. I'm gonna try for next year. That's a long-term project, but I'm gonna see if I can save up, get in contact with somebody, and see if I can get it myself to go there.
If you get a press badge, do you have to pay to get in too? On top of that,
That's what I'm
No.
trying. That's why I'm doing research for it now.
Yeah, I don't think you do.
because getting a ticket, when we looked up just for shits and giggles, oh, we're technically a gaming group, maybe we can go to E3, and then we looked up tickets and it's something like $300 just to get in, or something like that. It's ridiculous.
Yeah, but if I think about it on the long term now, I'm pretty sure I can make the trip. I think transportation and hotel fare is probably what's going to really kick me in the ass, considering it's in Los Angeles.
Yeah.
But,
I think you'd probably have to book now if you wanted a decent price, honestly.
I'll have to see later on.
For that weekend.
But Naughty Dog, Uncharted 4, I'm disappointed it's not an Uncharted racer.
You mean Uncharted?
Yeah, that's the trend Naughty Dog has. You make 3 main games, and your 4th game is a kart racer.
Wait, did they do that for Jack and Daxter
Yeah, Jack
too?
X. Jack X.
Yeah. So Uncharted. Where's my
Where's
Uncharted?
I can't wait for the Last of Us cart.
No, we need 2 more games first.
Yeah, we got to get the Last of Us 2.
Does the remastered version count?
No.
We're halfway there.
Again, that was just another game that was just CG and no gameplay footage.
Well, to be fair, they admitted that it's just very early, so they had nothing to show.
Yeah, true, but it's just...
I think it was just a matter of we didn't know whether or not Naughty Dog was going to continue with Uncharted or move on to something else. I personally thought they were going to move on to something else, hence The Last of Us.
No, I knew that they were going to go on with Uncharted because that's been, Sony's cash cow for the past couple of years. It's like one of their only franchises, really, at this point. So I knew that they were going to make Uncharted. I know that Naughty Dog doesn't necessarily like to stick with the same thing for too long, but I just knew that the higher-ups were going to make them do it anyway, whether they liked it or not. So it did not surprise me in the slightest to see Uncharted there.
Can Nathan Drake die now?
Well, I think that's what they were going with the story. But what it was like he's retired. I just saw that as Naughty Dog. Like, guys, we really don't want to keep making these. Please let us do something else, please. Pretty please.
Action heroes are always retired. Solid
Yeah.
Snake was retired in Metal Gear Solid 1.
Yeah.
Wait, he was?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh,
Colonel, I'm retired. What are you calling me over here for?
Work, Snake.
You're the only one close enough to actually handle this at the moment. That was basically the reasoning as to why he was there.
Yeah.
Because he retired out in Alaska.
and it's just a coincidence that his brother cloned thing is the evil mastermind the entire time.
Yes.
Maybe. Who knows?
Will of the Patriots.
Oh yeah, you're right. They showed a Metal Gear Solid thing there that got leaked the day before.
I like the song.
The new trailer for The Phantom Pain didn't really make me any less excited or more excited. I'm still going to get it.
It's Metal Gear.
So that's all I can say about that.
How is Kojima going to screw things up story-wise this time?
Nanomachines.
No, that was 4.
I can do it here.
That's everyone.
Yeah.
At the very least, Big Boss finally got over his muscle memory. He's now actually aiming with his good eye.
A cybernetic arm will do that to you.
Yeah.
Grim Fandango. Do you guys have any experience with that?
I know Al was excited, but no, I don't have any
No,
experience with it.
I don't get them why they're making it a big deal about it because from the way that they described it, this might be me getting the wrong impression, but it sounded like it was just a straight up port. It wasn't like a remake.
No,
or
it's
anything.
a remake.
It's a remake.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, then never mind then, because like the way I heard it, it sounded like a virtual console release.
No, they're remaking it.
Okay, because what I was thinking when I saw the conference, I got the impression that it was just a port, and I was just like, guys, Nintendo ported Demon's Quest to the virtual console and didn't make a big deal about it, but you do the same thing for Grim Fandango, and Sony's the second coming of Jesus. But that was if that was just me being stupid, then never mind.
I'm pretty sure they're remaking it.
Yeah.
Because
It's a
really
remake.
It is.
Yeah.
Okay. Well then, never mind then. Good for you guys, I guess.
It's something of a cult classic with adventure fans. It had a unique style. It was unique at the time, and not many people got to play it since it was an old 90s PC game, so I think a lot of people are excited for it.
Square Enix had their own little thing going on. It didn't really mean anything. They didn't have Kingdom Hearts 3 to show off or
Final Fantasy 15.
They had Kingdom Hearts HD 2.5 remix stuff to show, which is a given because we already know it's coming out at the end of this year in December, which I'm looking forward to, of course. Theatrhythm Final Fantasy Curtain Call, the sequel to the music game Theatrhythm. I really enjoyed Theatrhythm. It's a nice little niche title that you can kill time on in a shitter.
This Final Fantasy soundtrack is great, so
Yeah, and that's exactly why I love it so much. So I might just buy that.
What about Final Fantasy Typo?
Final Fantasy Typo.
That was originally announced to get an HD remake. What was it? What was it for initially?
It was on the Vita. Not the Vita, the PSP in Japan.
Oh, all right. So it's getting a PS4 treatment.
Yeah.
So I hear. So Typo fans are excited for that. Rise of the Tomb Raider.
Oh yeah, where Lara Croft had therapy. Yay.
Where she's just going to go back and kill more people senselessly.
another Tomb Raider game. Now they're getting really elaborate with their title names. It's no longer Tomb Raider subtitle. Now it's something Tomb Raider.
Rise of the Tomb Raider of the Darkness of the Revenge.
Tomb Raider Revengeance.
Rise of the Tomb Raider returns.
Again, I hate to sound like a broken record, but that was another game that we just saw last year. Tomb Raider, the remake. Everybody says it's good. I believe you, but that just came out last year, so I wasn't sure. It seemed too soon to announce another one that quick to the first one's launch to me. But whatever. It's probably not going to come out for another year or two, so maybe it'll be more fresh then, but whatever.
Yeah, I think because of the release of the definitive edition for the PS4 and Xbox One, that's why it's still fresh in our heads. So, yeah, it's getting a bit saturated. But, yeah, this is probably something we're not going to see until late next year at the most. When everyone has Avengers 2 on their minds and Star Wars Episode 7.
And Batman v Superman.
Yeah, no, that's 2016.
I heard they're trying for late 2015.
No, they won't
it's 2016. Superhero movies, especially a superhero movie like that, is going for summer blockbuster money.
Okay.
Oh, do we want to talk about Brian Michael Bendis being really boring on the stage for like?
Yeah,
a half hour?
let's talk about Shmeji Fizame because
TV.
he is the
TV.
because
TV.
he's the new CEO of Sony Computer Entertainment of America. His name is Sean Layden, and I'm studying the guy's mannerisms, his hand movements especially. This guy's Reggie. Like the first thing I noticed, like this guy's Reggie. I was like, these guys can be buddies with each other. Like get some Sony and Nintendo ideas getting together or something like that. And I'm not the only one that thought that apparently.
I was thinking more it was like Reggie if he was in the Mafia.
So what did Sony just look at Nintendo and say this Reggie guy's a meme machine? They're getting people to advertise their own games without even trying.
He has laser vision.
Yeah, it's just did they go into their lab and design order their own Reggie or something? That's the way I was thinking of it.
You can manufacture your own Reggie?
Anything's possible with the amount of money Sony has.
I honestly do wonder if, because they see Nintendo poking fun with Reggie and Iwata and Miyamoto and all them, I wonder if they really do think maybe they're gonna show up their own heads, their own PR people, and make them kind of fun and quirky too.
Do you know who you need to bring back? Kevin Butler.
No, the thing is that you can't manufacture that sort of stuff. The thing is, Nintendo honestly just got lucky that Reggie became a meme, in that, people could, and Iwata's easy to make fun of, and Shiggy's just Shiggy. But you can't manufacture that. It was just something that happened, and Nintendo took advantage of it. It's not, you can't make the lightning strike twice. You can try, but you're probably gonna get zapped.
Kazurai had his 1 year, and that was it.
Ridge Racer!
$599 US. $599 US.
I wouldn't mind if everyone had more of a sense of humor.
Oh no, I wouldn't either. It's just I don't expect it to,
I think it would help.
Yeah, it would help, but you can't make yourself a meme, and if you try to, you just.
Oh no, I do not. I do not object to that because I do not like the concept of forced memes either. Sega had more Sonic Boom stuff to show. Donnie was all over that. Even when everyone was watching the Smash Bros. Invitational, Donnie was watching Sonic Boom shit. I was like, what are you doing?
Donnie, what are you doing? Donnie, stop.
All things considered, the game looks pretty good.
I was able to watch demonstrations of the Wii U, the 3DS, and I saw that new trailer for the TV show. Gotta say, the TV show's not looking bad. I was surprised.
We have a score to settle. Me?
Yeah, I thought that was pretty funny.
Evil Ham confirmed for Smash
Evil
4.
Ham from Eggman. I thought that was pretty funny.
Which Mike Pollock is now spamming on his on his Facebook, the Evil Ham spread.
Gameplay-wise, I'm still iffy. I guess that's the word of the E3.
Yeah, generally, it does look good, though.
It doesn't look like it plays like Sonic, but I expected that to an extent, because it looked very combat oriented from the bits I saw.
To me, it kind of looks like the Jack 4 game we never got, because the guys who run Big Red Button or whatever it's called were former Naughty Dog employees.
Can you imagine if this was a Sonic Team game? The amount of shit this game would be getting.
It already is.
Oh yeah, I know it is. You can't help that. That's Sonic fan base. Like, what else is fun? Wait, what's that? The sky is blue. You don't say.
Well, no, I get you because Sonic Boom has the plus that it's not a main title. It's not it's not Sonic 5. It's not Sonic Adventure 3. It's not whatever. It's an alternate continuity. So in people's minds that's separate. It's allowed to do its own thing to an extent. I'm not saying 100% because Sonic fan base, but if Sonic Team were making this, and especially if it was just a standard Sonic game in the normal Sonic mythos, I think the fans would probably be going apeshit at this point.
They were certainly going apeshit when it was discovered that there will actually be a Sonic movie on the big screen.
Oh yeah, that dropped in the middle of someone's press conference. I can't remember.
It wasn't during the middle of someone's press conference, but if I recall correctly, it happened after Nintendo had done theirs.
The digital event. I think it was after the digital event. Yeah.
I think that was kind of bad timing on their part though, because I think if they had announced it the day before, they would have gotten way more hype out of it because it was sort of lost in the middle of all of the Smash Brothers stuff.
Well, it wasn't much to announce in the first place.
It was just that we're making it.
Yeah.
To be fair, Sega didn't exactly announce it anyway. It was just a random report we saw from an official site, but it wasn't Sega themselves that actually announced it. So
the official Sonic Twitter retweeted a Hollywood Reporter story, and once they retweeted that, we knew, oh, this is real.
Yeah.
Because if Sonic's saying it,
it's happening. It is happening.
Sonic says.
Remember, it's cool to be made by to have a movie made about you from a studio that matters. But if Eddie LeBron comes up to you and asks you to make a movie, that's no good.
Now, do you think it's just to scrap this off the topic list real quickly? The live action animation hybrid thing. Do you think it's like say Who Framed Roger Rabbit sort of spiel, or they gotta drag a poor little boy from the real world into the world of Sonic the Hedgehog?
I'm imagining the Smurfs.
Smurfs?
The Smurfs. That's what I'm imagining.
I was going to say Scooby-Doo.
CG Sonic and friends walking around in a real world. That's what I'm thinking is going to happen.
Me too.
It's like some sort of inverted Space Jam.
At least Amy doesn't sound like Minnie Mouse anymore. For those
Is it the same voice actress?
Yeah.
It is the same voice actor, believe it or not.
She really mellowed out.
I guess they told her, you're independent, Amy, you're adventurous, Amy, you're not going to be ditzy in love with Sonic this time. She's like, okay, I'll change my performance.
Everybody mellowed out in this one. No, Eggman ramped it up, which I like, but everyone mellowed out. Sonic, for the benefit, by the way, I'm not saying it's a bad thing. I think everyone's voice performances here are the best we've ever gotten in any Sonic game. I am curious to see how this story... I'm ready to enjoy this story. I really am.
And not that I'm not looking forward to it. I remember the first time Sonic Boom's first impressions, we did a brain scratch video for it, and we turned into robots during that.
Yes, sorry.
Not anymore. That's why we're doing the Audacity setup.
Guys, I told you to leave Robot Ted off.
It's funny too. It's funny too, considering Metal Sonic was confirmed for Sonic Boom as well. So.
But I told people that I wasn't super excited for it. Like I said, I was still optimistic, and I'm still going to play it, and I didn't think it was a bad thing. I just said that, I'm not, super excited. And I'll be honest, I'm still kind of in that mindset, mainly because it just kind of feels like an average American platformer kind of game. When I see Sonic Boom, I think of stuff like Lego Star Wars, Crash Mind Over Mutant. I think it kind of reminds me of Skylanders a little bit. I see kind of like a beat-em-up platformer thing that it's not necessarily going to be bad, but I don't know how much I'm going to love it. I'm not the kind of person who's going to go, oh man, did you play Lego Avengers? Because you have to. It's if you like Avengers, if you like Lego, go play it, but it's not the bestest thing I've ever played. So I'm looking forward to it. I think it'll be fun. I just don't think it's going to be the world. I don't think that it's going to be the bestest thing I'll ever play. I expect an average, good, okay platformer.
If we're talking strictly gameplay speaking, I agree. I was more talking of the story elements because I've been enjoying the writing so far that I've heard. Everyone's all the forums I visit, everyone's fearing it's going to be another Sonic Heroes 2, where everyone won't shut the fuck up during gameplay sequences. But but the difference between that and Sonic Heroes is that I'm actually laughing at the lines that are being delivered. Some of them are really juvenile, but I still chuckle at it. Like Knuckles, hey, there are things in these things. The Sonic, when he's going down a speed section, you have these rings appearing. It's like, rings! No. I thought that was pretty funny. Like, I'm laughing.
Or, hey, the things that's right at the front of the gate. That never happens.
Yeah. I'm laughing at these lines compared to Sonic Heroes, where everyone was just pointing out the painfully fucking obvious.
Look at all those Eggman's robots.
Yeah. Gameplay-wise, I'm right up there with you. It's not so much as like it's the fact that it's different. It's also because now you don't want Sonic to so much lose his identity. You don't want it to just become another part of the generic 3D platformers that it's only different because it's Sonic and not Jak and Daxter or Ratchet and Clank or Sly Cooper. But that's exactly why you buy these games in the first place, to see, or at least borrow a copy from your friends, to see if whether or not it tickles your fancy. I'm going to buy it anyway because that's just what I do. Yeah. And I'm going to play it, and I will review it, and we'll see how that works. My general stance on it is that I have more hopes for it than because when Lost World was announced last year, that sent me so many signals at once. And Sonic Boom, right from the get-go, told me this was going to be different. You got to have different expectations. So, all right, I will adjust, but you now need to sell me on why I should look forward to this compared to, something like Sonic Lost World or Generations or Unleashed.
Yeah. I'll give the benefit of the doubt generally for the gameplay because of the Naughty Dog, I guess, regime in charge of it. I don't know if it really is a better word to put it.
I get what you mean, though.
You trust the things that these people have worked on before.
Yeah, I'm not expecting like greatest Sonic game ever, but I'm based on the pedigree, I'm expecting it to be a generally good game.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, my thoughts are basically the same as they were when it was first announced. I like the art style. I'm still sort of half and half on, but it seems like the breath of fresh air that the franchise needed, at least visually and storytelling wise. And taking a risk is always with an established franchise like this is always a good sign in my book, because it shows that they're not afraid to take a chance. So
exactly,
especially with an alternate continuity, because if it sucks, you can pretend it never happened and move on with the normal series. Nothing of value is lost. But if it is good, we get something more out of it. So, it might have problems, but I'm cautiously optimistic still.
Indeed.
And 3DS version, I actually do think it kind of looks kind of fun. I'm not going to write it off just because it's 2D and it feels a little bit similar to the older, or to the regular Sonic stuff. It actually looks pretty neat. Looks like a fun puzzle platformer. So,
yeah, I hear and Donnie can confirm this. I don't know, because you've been following the game left and right since its entire E3. I hear that the structure of the game is Metroidvania-like.
Yeah,
Metroidvania. Okay, well,
It's basically, it's very different from the Wii U version. You don't even play as Amy in the 3DS version compared to the Wii U version.
Yeah, you play as Styx the Not Marin.
And she actually throws a boomerang that is basically like the Batarang, so to speak, in the Batman Arkham games. But
this was totally supposed to be Marin, but they realized everyone hated Marin.
Whatever. That's a topic for another day.
Well, you bring in the boomerang, which is traditionally Australian. Marin was
stereotypically Australian.
She was totally Marin until they realized everyone hated her.
But Rush Adventure came out like 5 years ago. They didn't realize that people hated her back then? Or did Sega just completely forget that, and then they went onto the forums just to check, and they're like, oh, crap, people really don't like her. And then they just changed it at the last
We're
minute.
going to call you Styx.
Oh, let's see this great Clement Let's Play. I wonder what he thinks of her. Oh, man.
Oh, God. Oh, God. Oh, man.
But it's just, you said the word Sonic Metroidvania, and it was just like, how the hell would they make that work? But then I remember that it's not necessarily traditional Sonic, so, and that sort of brought me back to a more reasonable mind frame. But now, you know what? I want to see that now. Make a 2D normal Sonic Metroid. Make it happen.
What else did you know about it, Donnie?
It seems like there's levels that are a lot bigger in size, where you can go take different routes with certain characters. There are rival races where you actually race someone to the goal, kind of like Sonic Rivals, but without all the wackiness that was in it, and just pretty much your special abilities, so more tame in a sense. There are unlockable characters that you unlock as you progress through the story, and you can go back with those unlocked characters and play them later on, and it's got an entirely different story.
Did they confirm who any of the unlockable characters are? Because that actually sounds pretty neat, honestly.
No, they didn't, but
Okay.
they did confirm that you will be able to unlock them later through the story and be able to use them in previously played levels. And
Because that sounds like the idea I've had in my brain for a Sonic Adventure 3 I've had since, like, 2004? 2005?
yeah.
So, that sounds like almost word for word exactly what I imagined an Adventure 3 should be like, so...
You should sue.
Yeah.
You should... Well, it's not like they just stole the thoughts directly out of my brain.
You don't know that.
Another thing that the 3DS version has as well is there's not as much banter between the characters either. I've
Well,
noticed
that could be just beta
the Wii-
build, That could,
Well,
that
also,
could
there's
change.
only one character on screen the entire time, right? That would help with that a lot.
Unless you're talking to yourself.
It seems like you're a lot more free with the characters you can choose as well. I think, like the Wii U version where you may have only one other character you can choose, maybe two. It seems like there are going to be a lot more of a free-for-all, and so to speak, in the game as well on 3DS.
It just seemed like in the bottom screen you would just highlight whoever you wanted to play, and then boom, you were them. Like you'd just be walking around as Sonic, touch the sticks icon down there, and boom, your sticks. So.
But okay, yeah. So on the fly character switching. That sounds interesting. I like that.
Otherwise, the story is pretty much Amy is kidnapped. Apparently, what someone said to me in the comment section on the pre-E3 video was that the reason why Amy was kidnapped was because apparently she knows about information about the crystals that was mentioned in the subtitle, but I haven't seen anything about that.
Well, they're not going to show story details before the game comes out, so.
I mean like Amy knowing about something like that was never said. So I haven't really.
They're just like speculating at this point.
Hologram comes in
I
out of nowhere.
guess.
Sonic, I need you to find 25 crystals to save us from the Overdrive. Wait, sorry, wrong game.
Crystals, of course.
If I don't have any enemies left on the surface. No, wait, it's not. If I don't have any friends left on the surface.
Yeah, if I don't have any enemies on the surface, okay, I'm good to go. Let's conquer this world. Okay, no, Donnie, what you're saying is what was said in the press release is different from what the gameplay trailers actually showed in terms of story elements.
Yeah, the story is completely different from the game itself.
Yeah. Well, I mean, we have until now. Before the game was confirmed for a November release date, that's typical of Sonic games. So we have maybe 12 more trailers, just to make sure everyone will be sure the game still exists, and we want you to buy it.
And they did confirm that both versions of the game will be out around the same day.
That's what they did for Lost World as well. So
They also did say that the cartoon may come out around the same time as the game's release. That's all we know. I think you only see that one demo. And I think they also said that, unlike the 3D Wii U version, correct me if I pronounce his name wrong, but Richard Jacques, I believe, is actually working on the 3DS version soundtrack.
Yeah, I saw that.
I don't know who that is. Did
He did 3D Blast Saturn, and he also Sonic R, and he.
Oh.
Can you feel the sunshine, Ted?
No, it's raining. It's been raining all day.
There's a lot that they reveal for the 3DS version, and Eggman will be in every single Boom episode too, so
Yay.
we'll be pleased.
Bring back his AOSTH theme.
No, I'll leave that far away in the dust.
No, I like that theme. Bring it back.
So, shall we move on to day 2, or the final day of E3?
What about Way Forward giving us a Wii U port of the game that should have been out 6 months ago?
Oh yeah, the Shantae and the Pirate's Curse got a new trailer, and it, did they give us a vague release date or just like later
Late
this
summer.
fall? Late summer. Okay, yeah. Guys, that game should have been out like last year.
Last year, definitely.
It still looks great, so I forgive you. Just I needs my medicine. That trailer kept me was part of what kept me going that first day, because a lot of day one was just miserable. If it wasn't just Ubisoft and EA's conferences, it was just everybody was kind of pissed off all of that day. So it was just that helped keep me sane until day 2.
All right, so Nintendo. After day one, I had a bit of a anticlimactic taste in my mouth, and I was like, Microsoft did deliver. I'm happy about that. At that point, it's just a matter of taste, and I'm just not, I can't get into a lot of the games they demonstrated. The same went with Sony, even though, both were pretty solid. We're all looking forward to Nintendo. We're all anxious about Nintendo because we didn't know what they were going to do. How is this digital event going to compare to something like a typical Direct? And when you look back at it in hindsight, it's not that different.
Well, it's definitely way more entertaining. It was easily the most entertaining thing to watch in the entire throughout all of E3.
I still feel it's a little too short for its own good, but
a little bit, but they didn't try to pad it out by having too many scenes of developers talking. Because even in the scenes where they had talking,
no. Yoshi's Woolly World had a little too much of that.
At least they showed lots of gameplay footage overcut.
It's Yoshi's Island again, though. So who cares? I don't care.
Well, I'll get to. They did end up showing lots of gameplay later, but we'll talk about the live streaming stuff. Later. But I feel like the conference itself was easily the most entertaining thing to watch.
Should we just go down how it went?
Yeah, sure.
Well, the robot. I was shocked that they had brought the robot chicken team in to make those. It's not claymation, but it's the same sort of
stop motion.
Yeah. I was just like, is that Robot Chicken? Really?
Yeah.
Oh, great. Another Mario game.
I don't love your tone, but actually there's no Mario game today. Wait, bring us Mother 3. How about I bring you this?
That's why I loved it so much, because all of those jokes were pretty cutting. We're like, I bet you didn't expect to see a conference today. Not my problem.
Yeah, I mean, there was a lot of balls in this sort of in this demonstration, and I look at it in a positive aspect for pretty much everything they made fun of. The nerd in this particular brought up both Star Fox and Mother 3. Star Fox, we later learn we're getting a new game actually. Ooh, I mean, that's great.
Well, it's in super duper prototype stages, but at least it exists.
Yeah. That's better than just saying we're considering it.
Like with what they said about Metro.
Exactly, yeah. That's why I'm taking those interviews. Everyone's I got spammed so many damn times with that interview. It was like, these are just words. Just take it with a grain of salt. I need gameplay. But the nerd made fun of Star Fox. We get Star Fox. The nerd brought Mother 3. We're not going to see something immediately, but I think that's a hint. Well,
no, the guy who's its face, Itoy, the maker of Earthbound, he said he doesn't want to make a fourth game. So
no, I'm just talking about strictly Mother 3, not a sequel. I'm just talking about Mother 3. I got a feeling that's a hint.
Wii U Virtual Console?
Yeah, I think that's a hint. You guys are gonna get a fully translated official English version of Mother 3 on the Wii U Virtual Console, and it's a joke that may hit the heartstrings a bit too hard for some of you guys, but I look at it positively. I think that's a hint towards something that you guys are really gonna look forward to. I use Star Fox as a reference, so yeah, they really nailed it with the humor. I was laughing the entire way. It was Reggie saying he's going to go while I go Reggie on these fools. Here's a look at some of the things we have for you. And then we cut to the reason why Iwata couldn't participate in this year's E3 because Reggie beat the shit out of him. The poor old man.
Who comes up with these ideas to make a DBZ skit with Reggie and Iwata?
I would love that. If you later on in Nintendo's YouTube page, when they were showing off to show off the Project Giant robot thing, they had Fizamech, which is just Reggie with sunglasses, and they put Bill Trennan in a whole bunch of like box parts, and they just had them sumo wrestle each other for like 5 minutes.
These are professionals.
Yeah, they really did nail it with the humor, and I'm happy they went out of their way to do that. Then we went into Smash Brothers. Obviously, should we just go into Smash Brothers right now?
I think we should save Smash Brothers for the end because we're going to talk about that the most.
Yeah, although talk about what was in the Direct.
Yeah, they announced Mii Fighter, which I'm totally glad for.
I'm very on and off.
You're off. You're just adding on as a safety net. You hate it.
Yeah.
Can I just say that the puns that they had for the announcements were great? Ice-T pours it on. Elijah Wood liked to battle. That was just awesome.
Well, they also announced Abraham Lincoln, so there better be a John Wilkes Booth version.
Oh,
Man, that's
terrible.
That's just
John Wilkes Booth is the shooter me.
Yeah.
Oh my god.
Abraham Lincoln's the brawler.
We're going to hell.
Yes, we are.
Yeah.
I do like it because it's essentially Smash Brothers make your own character option.
Yeah.
And I'm not too big on customizable stuff like that in fighting games, and it's obviously a lot less in depth than something like Soul Calibur. I think is one of the more popular ones, or the wrestling games that have like tons and tons of create your own character options. But it's a nice little thing to mess around with, and I'll probably end up making myself as a sword fighter Mii because swords are cool.
Oh yeah, we're all egomaniacal assholes. We're gonna make our own
Bringing
Miis. We're gonna make ideal versions of ourselves.
Yeah. Bring in Wreck-It Ralph.
Yeah,
Everyone is
everyone is
confirmed.
essentially confirmed, and that's what I like about it. So I'm happy for that. Then after the Smash Brothers stuff, where the Mii was announced,
Was Woolly Wool.
No,
World.
it was Captain Toad, I think, was announced
yeah.
after that. So, oh boy, guys, I gotta do an entire LP in there.
oh my ears.
No, that seriously.
Is someone
unless
scraping
if
their nails against chocolate?
Unless if I practice that voice, it absolutely kills my throat. So I love doing it. I love being able to do Toad voice because it's an excuse for me to be as obnoxious and annoying as possible, which is great. But I'm gonna need to bring gallons of water if I ever decide to do that game in a Toad voice, which more than one person suggested that I do, and I'll think about it.
Oh, that poor person.
Yeah.
Such deluded.
But the one thing that sort of made me iffy about it was that they announced that it was going to be like a full retail game. And, when I saw the trailer at first, I thought, oh, this will be a nice sort of like $10 download. And then, I see box art and I'm like, oh. So, I might give it a chance if it's a discount title, like maybe $30, $40 tops.
Yeah.
But I don't think this is going to be something that I'm going to spend $60
No,
on.
if it's full price, I'm going to say no, I'm going to wait for the price
Yeah,
to go down.
I'll wait. Definitely. I honestly don't see it reaching full retail. It definitely looks like...
Because I like the levels that were in 3D World, but as a side distraction.
I think what sold me on it, at least to some extent, was the demo that they showed later on, because there's a lot of Mario 2 throwbacks in there, like Toad throws veggies and stuff like that, and I played so much Super Mario Advance when I was a kid that anything that calls back to Mario 2 USA instantly gets at least some brownie points in my book.
I like that they at least tried to show that it wasn't going to be exactly the same, where he can pick up items, he can throw them at enemies. There's a minecart level, there's a giant lava boss that you have to dodge fire from in one level, so at least it looked like it was going to be somewhat different.
Yeah.
It didn't seem entirely like an expansion pack.
Yeah. A justification for it to be its own standalone title, which is what that sort of thing needs. Yoshi's Woolly World?
It looks so adorable.
We didn't want to just make another Kirby's Epic Yarn. That's why we're totally just doing that again.
No, from everything I've seen, this actually plays like a Yoshi game as opposed to Kirby's Epic Yarn, which played nothing like a Kirby game.
Exactly.
So, I'm actually relatively sold on it. I think it'll be a lot of fun to play. I am absolutely in love with the art style. Because Kirby's Epic Yarn was just like yarns on a piece of paper, which was cute, but I didn't really get it. But this, if you look and watch the gameplay, the game is absolutely gorgeous. You can see the yarn sort of fold down when Yoshi steps on it, and there's just so much detail in everything. And I just want to hug the entire game.
The minute I saw the fire dog boss, I was like, oh, that's adorable!
The game looks great. The only Yoshi game I've ever played is Yoshi's Island DS, which I liked, but I had issues with it. Mainly the fact that, all of the babies had their own special abilities, but you could only swap them at specific, stork swap thingy motherfuckers.
Just say intervals and move on.
Intervals. So if they had a puzzle that involved more than one baby, if you needed baby Wario and DK, you had to keep on backtracking back to the stork stop in order to cycle through. And, it really killed the pace. And
But you know what? That is a selling point for me, actually. The fact that there's no babies in this game makes me
you just have a health bar.
Yeah, you just gotta help. Now, just because it doesn't have no babies doesn't mean an instant buy, because Yoshi's Story did that first, and I thought that game was boring.
I've never been a fan of the Yoshi games.
Well, why not?
I just never felt like the level design was all that creative enough. And the whole you have to collect everything to do well aspect just kind of never really sat well with me.
Well, you only do that to unlock the bonus levels. You don't need to do that.
Yeah, but you get to the end of the level, it says, "Oh, you only found 3 flowers. I'm going to deduct points off of you for that." Oh, only 2 red coins. Well, that's not very good at all.
Failure.
You only found 2 red coins. There's 20 in every.
No,
level.
I'm just giving an example.
Well, no, if you only found 2 red coins,
You know what I
because
mean.
Just picking up normal coins throughout the level will give you at
Nope.
least like 10.
Nope.
You know what I mean, Ted.
Wow,
Okay,
Ryan,
okay.
get good.
I'm more of a fan of slower paced stuff like that, so I think it'll be a lot of fun. It's definitely a game I'm gonna pick up for sure. It looks like a lot of fun to me, so I'm looking forward to
And then it unfortunately started the trend that plagued the entire thing. 2015.
Oh yeah, 2015. I loved Nintendo's conference, but there was no firm release date on anything, and everything was 2015. Everything was 2015.
Yeah.
except for Smash and Hyrule Warriors.
And Bayonetta.
Yeah.
And Bayonetta
Yeah.
too. Yeah.
I think Nintendo realizes that the only game people are going to buy a Wii U for at this point is Smash. So they wanted to... I think what they were thinking is that they wanted to focus on what people would be able to buy after they got, people who are like, okay, I know I'm going to get it for Smash, but what else can I play? And I think they were trying to satisfy that audience, I guess.
That's what they really needed to do anyway, was pretty much satisfy the post-Smash crowd, I guess.
But but it
Yeah.
just kind of left me as okay, what else can I play besides Smash this year?
Yeah.
And the answer was not a lot.
There really is. And 2014 will once again be a pretty dry spell for the Wii U, except for those key titles that some of us are looking forward to. Not everybody, because we know Smash Bros. Is going to sell and all that jazz. But I personally have Bayonetta 2 to look forward to, and Hyrule Warriors. I'm definitely going to get that as well. But it's safe to say that assuming there are no delays, which is kind of a goddamn I know, which is a goddamn given Nintendo and shit like that. 2015 could be the year for the Wii U.
Yeah, there was a lot, there was so many great things shown at that Direct. It's just a digital event, whatever. They're the same thing. But it's just that all of them were in 2015, unfortunately.
Zelda Wii U coming 2015. Bullshit.
I don't buy it.
No, that's...
I don't believe that for a second, Nintendo.
Well, they did delay the 3DS version of Smash, supposedly.
Japan still gets it before summer.
Do they?
October is not summer.
September 13th, before summer. Before summer's over.
Oh,
so
teases.
Liar.
We get it October 3rd.
October is not summer.
A 3-week delay, 3-month delay. Take your pick. Honestly, I knew it was going to get delayed. It's Smash Brothers.
Well, don't lie to us.
They weren't lying to you then.
So after Woolly Wool, what was next?
I think it was Zelda. The Zelda stuff was after that.
Oh yeah.
I did like the sci-fi bent that the Zelda Wii U trailer had.
Open world.
Well, again, I'm not trusting anything. I'm not really trusting the gameplay footage or what they're talking about in the thing until we actually see proof, because that could just be pre-rendered. They could be lying out their ass.
They're pretty good about that sort of thing, though, because when they showed Twilight Princess for the first time 10 years ago, that was all in real-time graphic stuff, and it looked pretty good back then. And same with Skyward Sword. I see no reason why those graphics couldn't be real-time.
Maybe I'm just a cynical asshole, but I'm
we all are.
skeptical. Yeah, I'm just instantly skeptical about stuff like that.
I really just one of these years wish that one of these years at the end of the trailer they would just put 20XX.
No, because then people would think it's crossing over with Mega Man.
Well, just to be realistic for once.
That's what Capcom should do. Capcom should seriously just release a trailer tomorrow that's like, Mega Man coming, 20XX. I'm excited for Zelda U because I haven't really liked the last 3D ones. I haven't liked Twilight Princess. I haven't liked...
Twilight Princess was missed. Skyward Sword sucked.
And I haven't liked Skyward Sword.
You're gonna set off the fanboys, Ryan.
Oh, they are.
Come at me, bro.
But the idea that this is going to be a lot more like Link Between Worlds, where you can tackle whatever dungeon you want in whatever order, like it's going to be open world like that, and I see Link in a field with a horse again. I know Twilight Princess had that, but like This is better graphics. This is the kind of Zelda I like to look at.
Yeah. This isn't brown everywhere.
It's like a combination of Ocarina of Time and Wind Waker.
Did you guys see like the shitstorm that went onto Twitter because of like Enuma said something like, "Oh, this isn't necessarily Link," but
He misspoke.
Yeah, he misspoke. But people assume, when I first saw the trailer, I thought, "Is that a girl?"
That's exactly what I thought. That is like, wait, is Link a chick this time?
Because I know he's pretty androgynous most of the time, but this was like Square Enix levels in there. I don't know if they've confirmed its gender at this point.
They basically confirmed that it was Link, though.
But Link, I don't think needs to be a boy. I think Link can be a girl, and it doesn't really change anything. So, I'd actually wouldn't mind if they gave that a shot.
They can't make Link a female because programming for a female would take too much work.
Oh man, that was such
snap.
I saw so many great posts nailing Ubisoft for that. It was just like making a female models is so hard, and it's just that screenshot from Smash Brothers of all the different villager costumes.
It's really stupid coming from like Ubisoft, because like Assassin's Creed since Brotherhood has had female assassins in the multiplayer in that Vita game. There have been female assassins established in the series for like 3 or 4 years now. So to say that you can't create a female assassin in Unity because, it's too much work, too much budget, motion capture and all that, even though they're like female NPCs and stuff, I don't buy it. Sorry.
Yeah, it's bullshit. It just reeks of bullshit.
All they had to say was, we're trying to make a story about bros. That's all they had to say.
The art style is definitely a selling point for me. I just love I just love how it just blends. It's just, because at the moment I saw the model for the hero, that was...
Yeah, it automatically just looks a whole lot better than Skyward Sword ever did.
That's a given with the upgraded technology.
I like the sci-fi stuff too, because that's something that's really never been in a
It was a little bit in Skyward Sword, but it felt really out of place there.
Well, it's just, aside from the aliens in Majora's Mask, which are, I assume, supposed to be kind of a humor thing.
It's a joke. It's supposed to be a joke, yeah.
Yeah, they didn't really make too much of like advanced tech in Zelda, from as far as I could tell. So I do like it. I think they're making a bigger deal out of it. So I think it'd be an interesting change in setting, where it's normally just sort of boring fantasy for a lot of stuff.
Yeah.
I that was what caught my attention the most, was like the laser blasts from the tentacle thing and
the magic spear thingy,
the spear bow glowy stick that Link ? Had. So yeah, it looked okay. I'm not a Zelda guy, but if trailers with real gameplay look really promising, I might actually play it.
Yeah, I have to wait until we see actual gameplay, but left a good first impression.
Yeah, I have to wait till next year though, unfortunately.
Like it's coming out next year.
No, whatever. You know what I mean.
But
Let's see. Twilight Princess delayed 4 or 5 times. Wind Waker got delayed once. Ocarina of Time got delayed like twice.
Skyward Sword got delayed a few times too.
Yeah.
Did it?
They all do.
Yeah.
Oh,
yeah.
I don't think there's ever been a Zelda game that's ever released on time.
Link Between Worlds.
The first one.
Shut you up.
So how about that Hyrule Warriors?
It looks fun.
I've been looking for an excuse to go back to Dynasty Warriors, because the last one I played was 4 Extreme Legends, and that was way back in 2004.
Yeah, the last ones I played were like on the late PS2.
Yeah.
Same.
So I mean, I've enjoyed the series, just that they were coming out way too often.
I love seeing all the updated touch-ups of like past characters, because we saw Midna in there. We saw the Great Fairy from like the N64 games.
She still gave me nightmares.
No, you want to know what talk gave me nightmares? The fucking moon with its crazy evil teeth. Holy shit! The moon is terrifying.
Yeah, I was looking to see the mid of the special attack, which is grabbing chains. It's like, oh, you missed the dragon, honey. And then it grabs into the sky, and then she starts pulling something down. It's the fucking Majora's Mask moon, and it's like, wow, that's Wii U detail, all right, because that is really grotesque. And I see it just coming down, and I was like, wow, that is frightening, but it's amazing, and I immediately want a Lubu mod.
Can I just wonder what the title patterns were like for those 20 seconds during that animation? Like, what there were probably like 6 tidal waves and 3 typhoons that happened off screen, but whatever. We killed the dragon. Yay!
Well, maybe that CG trailer for Majora's Mask Wii U remake isn't bullshit after all.
If we can jump a little bit further ahead, I was kind of really annoyed with the amount of people who were pissed at Nintendo for making a new IP instead of remaking Majora's Mask, and I was like, guys, you could either have a new game or you could have a remake of a game you've already played. Which would you rather? I'd rather get a new...
No. He's just jumping ahead a bit, but...
Yeah, I was just saying,
Yeah.
guys, I know you want a remake, but you could... That game already exists. You can go back and play Majora's Mask as many times as you want. I'd like to see something different. But that's just me.
And it's on WiiWare, so just download it off WiiWare. So.
But yeah, Hyrule Warriors looks really good, and Zelda, all the characters look pretty good. They showed briefly the character select screen, so there's 6 or 7 unlockable characters.
At least, there could
Yeah.
be another row or whatever.
Yeah.
That's not much for a Dynasty Warriors game, but
Yeah, how many characters are normally in the
it's in the
series?
20s, 30s.
But, it's like we're going with established Zelda characters, so we can have,
Yeah.
Impa, Tingle, whoever.
We're gonna have Ganondorf because he showed up briefly at the end of the trailer.
Yeah, that'd be pretty cool. I wouldn't mind that.
Vati would be cool as well.
I thought you didn't like Vati.
No, I like Vati. Twilight Princess is Zant. Skyward Sword is I forgot.
Oh, is Vati the guy from the
Minish Cap.
Vati's from Minish
Yeah,
Cap.
that guy.
Yeah.
Okay.
The purple mage.
Oh, hold on, let me look up
Okay.
his name because I know I'm jumping.
Girahim,
Girahim. There you go.
which I don't like.
Groose, playable Groose.
Oh, shit.
That'd be funny. Maybe Aghanim from Link to the Past.
Oh, Jerry. Sure.
There you go.
But as a person who's never played Dynasty Warriors and is not a huge fan of Zelda, it looked all right.
It's basically a game where you're trying to beat the shit out of everyone.
It's going to be repetitive.
Yeah, it will be repetitive. Yes, exactly.
But man, is it just fun to unwind
Yeah,
with it.
it's cathartic.
There was Kirby.
Oh yeah, Kirby's Rainbow
Kirby
Curse,
and the Rainbow Curse.
which we didn't need.
Okay, I'm gonna. I had 2 separate reactions to this trailer. First off, I loved the claymation style that they had. That game looked absolutely gorgeous from what I saw. I loved the claymation look. I think it looks great. But I don't know if I'm the only one here, but I absolutely hated Canvas Curse. I thought it was the most boring thing I had ever played, and it's probably my least favorite Kirby spin-off, ever. I'd rather play, people give me crap about not liking Amazing Mirror. I'd rather play that than Canvas Curse. It gave me a headache trying to play and finish that game. It was dull. So, I'm not probably not.
Well, maybe it'll tweak the formula so that you can actually
No,
enjoy it.
it was really boring. Trying to get Kirby around with the touchscreen, you had to draw a little line to get him from place to place, was never as precise as I wanted it to be. And I'd honestly just rather move Kirby with buttons and a control stick.
That's my
or a
stance on it.
control pad. Yeah, so I get using Kirby. I get trying to shoehorn him into a touch-based game for when you wanted to prove that the DS's touchscreen could do something, but more than 10 years later, I did not need to revisit that. I would have just rather had a normal Kirby game with that art style, honestly, because it just feels like it's wasted on Canvas Curse, and I don't know how people how the fan base reacts to that, because I was honestly shocked to see so many people call me a heretic for not liking Amazing Mirror. That game still sucks, by the way. So maybe I'm further committing Kirby heresy here too, but it's just I just am not looking forward to that at all. It was probably the only game they shown that I did not have any interest in, even a little bit. So
I have one of
take that
those,
as
but
you will.
I have one of those sort of games, but it's not Kirby. But we'll say that for a later time.
what in the Nintendo?
In the
conference?
Nintendo specifically? What was after Kirby? Did we go?
Somewhere around there was Bayonetta.
Bayonetta 2.
Nintendo costumes.
The fact that the first game comes with it was what finally sold me on it, because it was nice to have the game on the Wii U, but I'd never played the original, so it was kind of maybe. But the fact that if you buy the game, you also get the first Bayonetta, and I'm like, okay, now I'll get it.
And you
2
get-
games
yeah.
for the price of 1, yeah.
The great thing about those costumes as well is like there's also adding like a whole bunch of little effects for Bayonetta. Like when you're in the Zelda costume, they instead of dropping like those rings or whatever you collected, they drop rupees, and when you open chests, that's you know.
Yeah.
And when you're in the Peach costume, instead of summoning the usual demon hand and demon foot to crush people, now you summon Bowser's hand and Bowser's foot to crush people, which is just hilarious. But aside from that, watching actual footage of Bayonetta 2, that game still looks like pure platinum.
Yeah.
It looks like it's just over the top as all hell. There's giant boss fights. At one point, Bayonetta, like, I don't know if it was her or a side character, but at one point you control, like, a mech robot as you're going down a place, which I think
it was Bayonetta inside the thing.
Okay.
But yeah, I am completely the same boat. I love Bayonetta 1. It is one of the best games that came out for me that year when it was released. Looking forward to revisiting it later this year for both the Let's Play and the Wii U version, because I am going to get the... did I hear... am I correct to hear that the physical version of Bayonetta 2 is the one that comes with Bayonetta 1? Or do you...
Yes.
Can you get...
Yeah, I can imagine that it needs its own disc. So...
Yeah.
Because so that's probably why. Like, I'd imagine... You know, I'm hoping that they'd make it a separate download as well if you wanted the original Bayonetta and not Bayonetta 2. Hopefully at a reduced price, mind.
Yeah, because if it's going to be bundled with... No, because that raises two issues. If you're going to have it bundled in the physical release, and that means if you offer a digital release, it should be a lower price. Or you can just have both of the games implemented into one download file. That file will be huge, mind you, but I wouldn't mind because I'm looking forward to Bayonetta 2. The first game, Jesus, I mean, Ted, when you got, I mean, I don't know how well you are into the hack and slash action sort of games.
And I haven't really played an awful lot.
But
of them,
Bayonetta
honestly.
is just it's so fantastic from beginning to end, and I've been looking forward to this game for the last 3 years now. And the fact that it comes bundled with the first game, and you got those exclusive Nintendo costumes, the Samus one in particular, you can switch the visor on and off during cutscenes, which just in itself can be simultaneously awesome and distracting at the same time.
Well, only if you keep on pressing the button.
Yeah, but I am definitely much forward looking to it, and yeah, this October, was that the date?
Yeah, they didn't give a specific day in October, but sometime.
Yeah, so I got Smash 3DS and Bayonetta.
Soon as
2.
Smash comes out first.
Yeah, so God, it's gonna be a busy October.
And then they showed like a small little teaser of Pokemon Omega Ruby, and
It was basically just everything they showed in Kokokoro on Sunday or Saturday, whenever it was.
Yeah.
Yeah, so it wasn't anything new, but it was nice to see it in motion, I guess.
You mean how it was basically just X and Y in the Hoenn region, which we all expected it to be?
Yeah,
Pretty
but
much.
maybe they'll do stuff like fix the engine so it'll run decently in 3D.
And trumpets everywhere.
Oh man, the trailer had so much trumpets.
Is that a good or bad thing? I'm not sure.
I don't think it can be Gen 3 without them.
So it's tradition.
Hoenn is notorious for its soundtrack, including trumpets and everything.
Well, that also extends to Fire Red and Leaf Green, I think.
Yeah.
No, Fire Red and Leaf Green like the electric guitar way more.
Yeah.
Perhaps.
But no, listen to the original Ruby, Sapphire, and Emerald soundtracks. Trumpets everywhere.
Yeah, Gen 3 is a really, really love it or hate it generation. Like, people either think it's the second coming of Jesus or they absolutely hate it. I'm a little bit more mixed on it, so I'm just hoping that it fixes some of the issues that it had.
Water everywhere.
This gave me, this actually ironically gave me an incentive to finally go just at least touch Gen 3. You know?
Don't bother.
I'm
dude.
good. Well, you can say that all you want. I'm going to do it anyway. Because, you know, at one point I'm going to go back to the world of Pokemon and review Generations 3, 4, and beyond. And I am going to get Omega Ruby and Alpha Sapphire later down the year when it comes out, you know, because I know everyone else is going to get it. I want to be up to snuff with the latest Pokemon trends. But I don't want to go into a remake without having context of the original first. Even though I think Omega Ruby and Alpha Sapphire will probably improve on elements that everybody hated Gen 3 over anyway.
Water everywhere.
I hear notorious stories with surfing and stuff like that.
There's so much. I know people will give me shit about complaining about this, but it's a big... there's water everywhere. You spend... the second half of the game is almost all surfing.
Basically, just choose Trico. Don't
Yeah,
bother
but
choosing the other two. Just don't.
well, no, because you basically have to choose Torchic because there's like 3 other fire types. There's Vulpix. If there's Vulpix, if you pick the right version, I don't remember which one. You can get Slugma, and then and then you've got Numel and Torkoal. So, yeah, you have next to no choice if you want a fire type in that game.
If you're going in Ruby and Sapphire Raw anyway, you can always trade in your favorite fire types from...
Well, no, you're not going to trade in when you're playing the main story. That's cheating, man.
No, I don't give a shit about that.
Unclean.
No, I don't have a problem trading as long as it's an egg that I have to raise up.
Oh, you guys have standards up in this bitch. Okay.
I have.
Well, I don't trade over level 100s now.
No, that's stupid.
All I can say about Gen 3 is that Gen 3 was the gen I stopped playing Pokemon at, because I got like 3 badges in, but I wasn't really feeling it, and I was just sort of like, I'm done. And then,
Well, all of us original fans were kind of just tired.
Yeah,
of it
that's
at
the
that
thing.
point.
That's a misconception I just want to clear up right now. My general opinion on Gen 3 is indifferent, not because of the quality of the game, it's only because of the circumstance of when it was released. By the time Generation 3 came out, I was tired of Pokemon. I played the hell out of Generation 2. I put so many fucking hours into it. So when Generation 3 came out, I didn't feel like playing it. That's why I skipped it. And that's why I went to Gen 4. It's not because I think Gen 3 is bad. I have no experience with Gen 3, so I can't say that. So that's generally how it goes. I'm going to go back and play it, and I'll have a real opinion maybe by the end of next century. So look forward to that.
You know, on that topic, I feel like we're kind of getting into the same situation here because there's been a new Pokemon game every year since Black and White 1 came out. No, even more before that because Heart Gold and Soul Silver came out the year before Black and White 1. So it's just...
And then like the year before that, Platinum.
Yeah, but Platinum was just a retread of...
It's still a re-release, though, I think.
Yeah, but each one has been significantly... Well, not necessarily significantly, but they've all been their individual games. It's not something like Red, Blue, and then Yellow a year or two later. It's been, the Black and White 2 was pretty different from Black and White 1. X and Y was different from that. And I feel like we could go a year or two without a new Pokemon game. I feel like that would be appropriate because, again, I love Pokemon. It's one of my favorite series of all time, but I don't want to, I brought this up for Sony, and it's only fair I bring this up for Nintendo, too. I don't want to be playing the same game every year, I think that it might have a lot to do with why I'm getting, gradually less and less excited for each new Pokemon release, I believe.
I don't want to jinx anything, but I think the next year we're not going to have anything Pokemon.
I hope so. At least no main RPGs.
We'll be getting Pokemon Z. Come on.
Maybe not. I'm not sure.
Pokemon C. Pikachu goes Super Saiyan.
Will the main character get the first badge? Yes.
Will he have to cheat for it, though? Tune in next time to find out.
Question, are you Ash? No, then you'll win it legitimately.
Other than that, at the conference, back to... there was Xenoblade Chronicles X, which kind of got its own name a little bit. And that looks okay. It looks exactly like I thought it was going to be. Xenoblade, but with robots and guns.
Better graphics.
And better graphics, yeah. Xenoblade looked pretty nice for a Wii game.
Now instead of a 100-hour game, it's a 200-hour game.
It better not be. I'm going... I've got my Xenoblade copy sitting right next to my Wii U over there. And I figured now is the time. I might as well finish it. Like, actually finish it. Not get 40 hours in.
By the way, Emil, you're nuts.
The first time I tried to play the game, I got like 40 hours in, realized I wasn't halfway there, turned it off for a day, and then never went back. This time I'm actually going to try to finish it. God rest my soul, because it's going to take for fucking ever. But, yeah, I liked Xenoblade, it was just way too much. There is indeed such a thing as too much of a good thing. So I hope that Xenoblade Chronicles X has the sense to not overload me with hundreds and hundreds of hours of stuff. End. Please. Thank you.
Reminds me of Dragon Quest VII.
I hear that Dragon Quest VII, you go 2 hours before you get to your first random battle,
yeah,
or something like that.
Not only that, the game is huge. I got 80 hours in, and I wasn't even halfway. It's one of those games.
I love RPGs. I love having an epic quest, but I also like to feel like I'm making progress by hour 30. So, yeah, just make sure you do that, and we'll be good.
I haven't really played Xenoblade, but when I saw it in the direct or the digital event, whatever, I just thought, like, I haven't played too many PlayStation 2 JRPGs in a while, or a JRPG in general, because I still haven't gotten to Bravely Default or anything, but it looks pretty interesting. I'll definitely check it out when it comes to Wii U.
I bought it day one, if only because I knew this was a critically acclaimed game that everyone on the West wanted to bring over, and I knew it was going to be rare as fuck later on. So I jumped on that immediately.
Was Xenoblade or Bravely Default?
Xenoblade Chronicles.
Oh, so you own it.
I own it, and I haven't touched it since I bought it. It has been collecting dust since the day I bought it.
Is it factory sealed?
I don't even know if I took the plastic off of it. Let me check it right now.
That could be worth hundreds of dollars at this point.
No, I took the plastic off, unfortunately.
Well, mint condition could still get you like $80.
Oh yeah, this son of a bitch is mint, because I didn't even take it out. The CD is still inside the imprintation. It still has those.
Do you have the art book?
I have. Let me see.
It came with an art book at launch. Do you have it lying around somewhere?
No,
that would up the value even more.
Are you talking about Xenoblade Chronicles, the last story?
Yeah, Xenoblade Chronicles had an art book that came with it.
Oh no, I guess it's just a vanilla release. Because
okay.
because I'm opening up the book right now. I just see the manual, pretty thick.
No, it's not. It's bigger than the book is like bigger. It wouldn't fit into the game case. It's bigger than the game case itself.
Yeah.
I still have mine lying around somewhere.
I just got a meaty manual because it's multi-language and Club Nintendo pamphlet, of course. And if you like Xenoblade Chronicles, check out Kirby's Return to Dreamland, Rhythm Heaven Fever, and Skyward Sword. The only scent of Mario we had this year was 3 games.
Oh, Mario Maker.
We got Mario Maker.
Now you too can make your own Kaizo Mario levels. Nintendo, you have to realize that's all anyone's going to do is use it for.
Or penises. They'll make penis levels.
I feel so bad for Proton John right now because he started his YouTube career doing hacks and ROM hacks and looter magic games and so on and so forth. So the second that comes out, he's going to get a million requests saying, "Hey, John, you want to play my level? Hey, John, you want to play my level?"
According to an interview on US Gamer, Tezuka, the guy making the game, says that he's going to include other graphical styles, so it's not, and other things. So there were a couple of assets missing. They didn't have stuff like bullet bills or whatever, but it's not just going to be Super Mario Brothers and Super Mario Brothers U. They're going to have other stuff in there. The only thing that's
so if we're going to do Super Mario World graphics, it is going to be Kaiser World all over again.
Yeah.
The only thing that they confirmed is that it's running on Mario 1 physics.
Oh.
They also implied there was going to be a music creator as well, just like Mario Paint.
Yeah.
Oh man, you're taking me back to like 2008 when I did nothing but look up those remixes on YouTube. Seriously, if it wasn't AVG on reviews back then, I was watching Mario Paint remixes. That's all I did.
Arf, meow, meow, meow.
We got Mario Party 10, which is still is still following the car.
No. I looked it up. They didn't say anything about online, which we need. But if you play standard Mario Party without the Bowser mode, everybody walks on their own. I don't know if they still have the mini stars thing, but it's closer to the traditional Mario Party formula.
Why didn't they show that?
Yeah, why the hell didn't they show that shit? That would have been a seller for me. God damn it.
They talk about it. They talk about it to some extent in the demo that they had, the Treehouse streaming that they had.
I'll wait to see.
But the Bowser mode did look fun for what it was worth. Because I think that's what they wanted to show off the most, because they wanted to show off the Bowser mini games.
1 versus 4.
Gamepad. Yeah, 1 versus 4.
For a while, I was very on and off with Mario Party, but when you get into doing Let's Plays or stuff like when we visit for commentaries, you really look forward to Mario Parties again, because now you have a reason to play it again. So that's
a reason to dick everyone over.
Yeah, because you want to be an asshole, and it's fun being.
That's why playing as Bowser is going to be so much fun, because you get to be the ultimate asshole.
Yeah,
the only asshole.
No, he's just. It's not anarchy. He's just being an absolute
dick.
Dick.
Yeah.
I'm over here.
Oh man, they're gonna have to. Everybody's gonna have to work together. I just realized.
No, but if we ever play Mario Party 10 though, for what we do like a commentary, we need a 5th player for Bowser.
Emil. Well, if we're doing Romocon, Emil.
Yeah, sure.
Oh man, make him Bowser.
For Bowser.
Oh. Yeah, make him Bowser.
I'd be down with that. Sure. Yeah, but if Mario Party 10, it's still early. I don't know when it's coming out. If it has online connectivity, that is an instant buy for me because that's what Mario Party needs at this point in time. Local is fine, but that's such a dated.
I don't have people to play with.
Yeah, I mean,
we don't have friends.
Get friends, you fucking lowly bastards.
Has there ever been a party game with online?
No.
Well, break the trend, damn it.
I mean, I can understand the Wii, because the Wii's online interface was not the best, to put it lightly. But, the 3DS game, 3DS Online works fine in multiple titles, so I had no idea why they didn't put online into whatever the 3DS game was called. Island something?
It occurs to me that I just bought Mario Kart 8 not too long ago, and you're allowed one download of 4 specific games.
Yeah.
One of which was Pikmin, Mario, Zelda Wind Waker, and the other was Wii Party U. And I still haven't
pad its numbers.
I still haven't downloaded that because I'm still debating whether I want Wind Waker or that, and I don't
get Wind Waker. Get Wind Waker. I don't even know why the hell you're debating that. You get Wind Waker.
I own Wind Waker on GameCube.
This is a free, prettier version of the game
with less annoying sailing.
I was just asking the comments if when Wii Party is recommendable. Do you think it's on par with Mario Party?
And I'm here to manipulate the comments. Listen to John. Convince Clement to get Wind Waker HD.
So yeah, they didn't actually announce Mario Party 10 in the conference. I didn't even know it was a thing until they were talking about the amiibo, the figurines thing, and then they just say, and Mario Party 10. I was just like, whoa, hold the phone. What? This is a thing?
Yeah.
So,
Amiibo. What do you guys think about that?
They missed the chance. They should have called it Amigo.
Yeah. No, you can't trademark. You can't trademark just regular.
No, you
phrasing.
can if it's Amigo, like the Mii's. You could trademark
But
that.
but then they would have to have rocket flying monkeys as one of the figurines, and that wouldn't.
Samba de Amigo, Amiibo. I think you'd buy that.
Samba de Amiibo.
Some do.
I will say, regardless of the idea that they, the concept itself, the figurines that they showed off on the floor were pretty decent quality. Like, there was a lot of detail, like in Peach's dress and Donkey Kong's fur, so they were, pretty good, pretty well made stuff at the very least.
Don't care.
Yeah, I read that Amiibos are not going to be required to unlock stuff. With Smash Brothers.
They fucking better not.
No, Smash Brothers. It just been confirmed that they're just there for a support when you need it, I guess. A Mario Kart, I'm not exactly sure how it implements into Mario Kart because they did confirm Amiibo for Mario Kart later down the road. But as long as it stays like that, then I don't care about Amiibo. Because if it was something that I had needed, say like Skylanders, to get more out of my game at an additional cost, I'd be pissed.
Yeah, it does seem like an extra thing. It's just like, because if there's one thing about Nintendo that, annoys me is that there's not really all that much merchandise outside of Mario stuff, So, say I want a Palutena figure, because there's going to be one for every single character. I'd get that, on its own, but now I can, and putting it into my Smash Brothers game is a plus for me. It's not like, oh, I've got to buy 3,000 pounds of plastic crap in order to play Smash Brothers. It's not really like that, so I don't mind it in that case. Because I'm not going to buy all of them, but I might buy like 1 or 2 for my favorite.
I just thought of something. You know how unlock trophies in Smash Brothers. What if one's required to have an Amiibo figure? I
Probably will be.
I've said too much.
It's like in Melee when they told you, you need a Pikmin save file in order to get Captain Olimar. Damn it!
Don't jinx it.
There's Mario vs. Donkey Kong. I don't know if anyone thought about
Which
that.
I only found out about by browsing the Wii U's eShop videos. They got a selection of E3 catch-up trailers, and I just saw Mario vs. Donkey Kong. I was like, oh, that's a thing.
Hold on. Do I still have it? I might have traded it in. But I did have Mario vs. Donkey Kong on the DS, Mario vs. Donkey Kong 2, and I ended up trading it in at some point. But it was a fun enough game, You had you tried to get the mini Marios to the end of the thing. It was pretty fun. It's just again, I think the biggest draw to that was the level creator and the download codes.
Goddamn lemmings.
Yeah, you could download.
I was gonna say. Since they're not making any Lemmings games anymore, Mario and Donkey Kong is basically the new Lemmings.
I always just found that pretty odd because the game started as Mario versus Donkey Kong, like an updated version of your traditional Donkey Kong game, and then everyone thought the minis were.
Which I want more of that.
Yeah, I'm on the same boat. I would like another Donkey Kong game because I love Donkey Kong 94. Even though
that's a really good game.
I thought it went a little too long at points, but I deeply enjoyed that game. And then Mario vs. Donkey Kong on the GBA, I thought was a pretty good follow-up. Not as good as 94, but a pretty good follow-up. And then after that, it was all minis. March of the Minis, March of the Minis March Again, Miniland Mayhem, Minis on the Move, and now we got this Wii U game. Yeah. Now we got a Wii U title. It's more minis, and I guess it's good for people that enjoy the mini titles. But I would like another Mario vs. Donkey Kong game. Hammer action, grab the key, put it towards the door, all that stuff. So Splatoon.
Honestly, that was the most intriguing game of the entire conference, because it does look like it's going to be a lot
new
of fun.
IP. How about that?
Nintendo announced 2 new IPs this E3. They're going balls. On
4, technically.
4?
You want to count Splatoon, Project Guard, Project Robot, and...
No, Project Guard and Robot are tech demos. Like, the codename Steam is an actual finished project, and Splatoon's an actual... Well, not finished.
Well, they're tech demos, but they're new IPs, too.
Well, that doesn't mean they're going to do anything with them.
It's just something Miyamoto made for fun.
Yeah.
At this point.
And until we get hard, like, this is a full game, I'm just considering them tech demos.
Well,
Miyamoto
everything's got to start somewhere. That's why I say 4.
Until I get confirmation those are actual games we're going to release, then as far as I'm concerned, those are just tech demos for potential future things.
Splatoon did look like an awful lot of fun.
A game that looks like it belongs in the modern gaming landscape by Nintendo. How about that?
I was listening to developer reaction videos, reaction videos to people after they played Splatoon, and apparently it is actually going to have voice chat in the game, not just in the lobby, actual real gods.
Honest to God voice chat.
And welcome to 2007, Nintendo.
It's basically Nintendo's answer to Team Fortress 2.
Yeah. And I think from what I saw, it looks like it's a lot of fun. I was kind of sad that within 2 hours there was porn on of it on the internet, but
Well, that's what happens when they're squids. So
yeah, they're asking for it.
the squid idea does just enough to set it apart from other shooters.
Yeah,
it's just I'm wondering, A, how expensive is it going to be? Because B, I think it's going to be only online. I think it's just the multiplayer, and there's not going to be any single-player component to it, because I don't know how you do a single-player component to a game like this.
Hey, Call of Duty, Battlefield, and everything, they can do that. This can do it too.
So we're gonna have one of the Inklings get his arm stuck in a.
Yeah, get its arm stuck in a door. But unlike Advanced Warfare, it'll just turn into a squid and just melt its way off of the platform. So no arm lost. They showed a lot of Splatoon during the Treehouse event.
I think at one point they showed an extra 15 or 20 minutes of it because the other games, I think it was right before Miyamoto was supposed to go on, and he wasn't ready. Maybe he was stuck in traffic or something, so they had to they had to do some filler, and they put on a couple more matches of Splatoon, and it does look like it's going to be a lot of fun. It's just we saw a lot of that same map, so we didn't get to see any different arenas or any of the different super weapons that you might be able to get, which is a little bit of a shame.
Because the trailer showed snipers and bazookas and stuff.
The weapon that actually looked like the most fun to play was the one where you got the giant paint roller and you just were rolling it across the ground. I thought that was pretty cool. It is something that I'm legitimately interested in.
2015.
Yeah.
Yeah, but I mean, the game looks really fun. It's a great new idea. It's finally something with. It's a new idea with actual effort put into it by Nintendo.
It's a refreshing take on a genre that's been oversaturated for the last few years.
Yeah.
Whether or not that'll actually mean anything when it's upon release, that's a different story. But it's not a must-buy for me.
Well, we'll see once we actually learn more about it. Since they only showed one map, I'm pretty sure it's still pretty early.
Nintendo's being original. It's a freaking miracle.
Nintendo has a lot of franchises, and we'd love to see a lot of those franchises come back more often, but in the end, Nintendo doing nothing but Star Fox is the same Nintendo that does nothing but Mario. It needs to come up with new ideas at least every once in a while in order to, keep going, I think. So it was very much appreciated on my end to have something new and fresh like that on display.
That and just the focus on multiplayer internet stuff. It's kind of like, hey, you realize it actually exists.
Well, it was basically their biggest game there, other than Smash Brothers. They put a lot. Like, if you look at the over, yeah, it was half Splatoon and half Smash Brothers. So they put a lot of focus onto this game. So they obviously have a lot of faith in it. It's not like something like I know a lot of people liked the Wonderful 101. I played the demo and didn't really get into it, but that was just to me that always just sort of felt like something that somebody else was already making, and they just sort of published it just because it didn't have the same sort of oomph behind it that they're no, not appeal, because it looks like an alright game. It's just they didn't. It feels like Nintendo has an awful lot more faith in this than they had in that.
Because thinking back, Wonderful 101 fell off the face of the earth as soon as it was released, and I didn't hear anybody talk about it ever again.
The thing is, it was a new idea. I just don't know how many people really liked it.
It has a cult following. Like, there are a handful of people who really, really like it. It's just it's not the kind of cult following that has as much momentum to it as like I don't know, like Dark Souls.
Nor is it near anywhere near killer app status. I don't see people rushing out to buy Wii U's for Wonderful 101.
Yeah, it kind of just John I think hit the nail on the head where it fell off the face of the earth as soon as it came out. So.
Yeah, it's like I respect it because it was a new thing and it tried to do something different. It's just when I played the demo, again, like Ted, I didn't really get into it, so I didn't really want to buy it.
And it was made by Platinum, not Nintendo, so I didn't count it as a Nintendo idea.
Yeah, it's an exclusive. I count it.
No, exclusive and their own thing are two different things entirely for me. It's kind of like saying Bayonetta is a Sega franchise. It's like, well, kinda, yeah, but at the same time,
I think that's different because that's published by Sega.
Nintendo published Wonderful 101.
Well, yeah, but you can only get it on the Wii U.
Yeah, that's because Nintendo published it.
Well, yeah, that's what. But I don't think it compares to Bayonetta because you can also get Bayonetta on the PS3.
No, I'm saying I'm arguing it's the exact same thing.
I think the only difference is that Sega isn't a console developer anymore.
Yeah.
If it were a Dreamcast game, it would have only been on the Dreamcast. Yeah. But yeah, Splatoon looks fun. It's just again, I'd like to see a handful more maps and weapons and stuff. But yeah, it's something to keep an eye on in the coming months, certainly.
There was that Itagaki, the Devil's Third game.
Oh yeah, I mean the boobs guy.
Yeah, the boobs guy.
Wait, what?
Itagaki's making a game exclusively for the Wii U.
There was a trailer and everything for it.
He did Dead or Alive, I think.
And I think Xbox Ninja Gaiden.
You play this tattooed guy who has to fight off all these different people. It looks quirky enough. Like, it's got this Japanese kind of like, what the fuck kind of weirdness to it.
Suda 51 weirdness, yeah.
Yeah, a little bit Suda 51 in there. But I don't know if it's going to be good. I'm going through a list of games. I don't really see anything that we haven't really discussed.
There was Codename Steam, and since we haven't talked about it yet, I assume that's the game you're not sold on, John?
Codename Steam.
I'm not a big RTS guy, so...
Well, no, it's turn-based strategy. It's made by the same guys who did Fire Emblem, and it looked pretty interesting to me.
I'll wait to see what kind of reception it gets, but I'm at least thankful it's a new idea.
This was the 3DS game that they were...
The 3DS game where Abraham Lincoln set up a task force to fight against the alien menace.
Don't get me wrong. I think the concept is hilarious. Just from that alone, this was the 3DS game that they were teasing. Before then, everyone thought it was either going to be Majora's Mask 3D or they were teasing a new Metroid game at a later point, and then it ended up being a completely new IP, which everyone's down for, and I get that. But okay, so that's all said and done and over with. I'm watching it on the Nintendo Treehouse event, and I'm seeing it. It's RTS, third-person type of game. I'm not an RTS guy. This didn't do it for me. No Eagle, Star-Spangled Banner, America sort of attack. It would change my mind about that.
Dude, the lion super move is he takes out a megaphone and yells at all of the enemies around him to do damage. How can you not be on board with this game? Just based on that
because I'm not a fan of the gameplay style. I'm not an RTS guy.
Well, just as somebody who spent an unhealthy amount of hours in Fire Emblem Awakening, I think that this scratches that itch in a different way enough to the point where I think that it'll be a good purchase.
I'll have to wait and see when we see more of it.
Just on principle, I always like to support new IPs, especially from someone like Nintendo, who is generally very conservative about that sort of stuff. So, I'd be glad to support the game just based on that, but the fact that it's such a it's a gameplay style that I like. A new take on it's not really even real time. It's turn-based strategy. Like a fresh take on the turn-based strategy formula with an aesthetic that I think is charming and, a sort of what seems to me like a silly off-the-wall story. I think it's going to be, I don't think it's going to be the best game ever. I'm not like, oh my god, I need to play this now hyped, but I think it's going to be a lot of fun. And
so after Abraham Lincoln beat the shit out of John Wilkes Booth on Battlefield, he went and swarmed the task force?
Yeah, man, it's just going to be the best. I say it's going to be the best thing ever. It's going to be campy and hilarious as it's just
a ridiculously over the top time. I know. I get it. I get it. I just it's not my cup of tea. Gameplay speaking.
I enjoyed Awakening, but I'm not the biggest RTS kind of strategy guy, so I'll wait and see. Like I said, I appreciate new IPs, so that's why I'll keep an eye on it. If it were just Advance Wars again, it's like, okay, I'm not an Advance Wars guy, whatever.
Since we know we have a new Star Fox game in the works, very early, mind you, you guys want to just say a quick word of what you hope the next game is?
Please, for the love of God, make a dual analog mode. I don't fucking like motion controls.
Because, again, Splatoon, they talked about the motion controls in the Direct. Again, it was in the talks after the demo. They said, we're showing off the motion controls right now, but there is going to be a dual analog option. I can only assume it's the same thing. If they're doing that for Splatoon, they're going to do that for Star Fox. Because, a game like this, Nintendo, I think, is smart enough with a game like this that isn't specifically that if they can do it without motion controls, they will give you the option to do it without motion controls.
I really like the idea. It's just, I'm doing it with the gamepad motion controls. It's like, but I hate motion controls. They never fucking work.
Too bad for you.
Not our problem. That should seriously be a meme.
Yeah. I like that.
I'm not too huge on Star Fox. In fact, the Star Fox game I probably spent the most time playing was Command on the DS.
That's like the worst one.
No, it's not. It was fine.
Star Fox, interesting concept. 64 is the one everyone remembers the most. Adventures was the Star Fox game nobody asked for, but it ended up being a decent game in its own right. I will defend Assault. Assault was a surprise hit for me. I actually really liked what I played. I never played Command.
What about the ground stuff? Because everybody I've talked to says that the plane and tank stuff's good, but the ground...
It's one of those Nintendo just didn't use the dual analog control that everyone had figured out at that point.
Yeah, the C-stick changes weapons. So in a sense, but you know what? I played Metroid Prime before Star Fox Assault. I'm used to that sort of controller configuration, so I was able to adapt.
I adapted it as one of those. This is much more fast-paced than Metroid, so I kind of need that. I kind of need that easier access to aiming than I do in Metroid.
I didn't mind them, but at the same time, I understand why Star Fox enthusiasts are not down with that idea. I just hope that for the U title, it is we get back to space dog fighting, and I want just a bigger, fuller 64.
Yeah. Do different kinds of vehicles. Make the missions longer or more varied in routes you can take.
Yeah.
There's plenty you can still do. It's just you haven't been doing anything with it.
Yeah, Star Fox is one of my favorite Nintendo projects ever. I love the original Super Nintendo game. I know people say it's kind of like archaic for today. I think Star Fox still holds up pretty well today. Star Fox 64 is like one of my favorite top 5, like right up next to Sonic the Hedgehog 2 and Final Fantasy 7 games. So Star Fox 64, love that to death. Adventures, I think, gets a lot of shit just because it's not a traditional Star Fox game, but I do think for a Rare title, it's pretty solid.
Yeah.
It's got good cutscenes, it's 60 frames per second, it's pretty decent. And again, my only issue with Assault was just I thought it was a little bit too linear. I wish there was more branching that you could do, like different things that you could change to go to a different mission. And like, I just didn't like the ground combat. Like I was fine with tank combat, but I didn't like leaving my machine to go into a base or into a cave and having to do some, because that just didn't feel like Star Fox to me. But
yeah.
And the DS game, I just wasn't big on at all, honestly. Although I did like the story of DS because it could go into so many different directions.
Yeah, that was just what I was going to say. Is how are they going to continue the plot now? Because there were like 12 different endings. So which one's canon? Is it the one where Slippy becomes like a granddad? Or is it the one where Falco and Fox join the the Schmeshmiro racing tournament, or is it the one where Crystal hooks up with Panther, or is it the one or is it the one where like Andross's nephew ends up taking over the universe, or what happens?
Or we could just pretend that game doesn't exist and move on with our lives.
I don't get why you think it was that awful. I thought it was just fine. Few too many missile chasing mini games for my liking, but you were in the R-wing for the entire time, and I thought it was a pretty okay game. Like, not great, but I played an awful lot worse.
At least we're getting another Star Fox game finally.
Yeah.
But Star Fox U. I think like even if it has motion controls, as long as they don't feel bad, I'll be happy. But like
dual analog mode, turning that motion shit off.
yeah, I hope there isn't. But if there is, I hope they do it well, and I'm excited.
Yeah. All right. So before we go into Smash Bros, can I just say that I really want to compliment Nintendo for something. The Nintendo Treehouse event, the live streaming's a brilliant move on their behalf.
Absolutely.
I did not. I haven't left my computer in 3 days.
The digital event, everyone was like, it's just going to be a slightly meatier Nintendo Direct, and that's all they're going to do. They should have a presentation, and then they just knocked it out of the goddamn stadium with the Treehouse event. 3 full days of nonstop streaming. You got to see all your favorite games in action. It was more than just the trailers you got at Sony or Microsoft. You got to see these games in action. Some of them I thought they focused a little too much on. I thought there was a little too much Splatoon going on, but it's a new game. I can understand why they want to push it. You got to see just about every single game they announced during the digital event in action. You got to see for yourself.
And not only did they announce like show every game that was announced in the digital event, but they even showed stuff that wasn't announced in the digital event that they had at E3. Like
there was the Fantasy Life game, which I think it was made by Level 5 and not Nintendo, but that looks like a solid little RPG. Yeah, codename Steam. That the stream that they had was what sold me on that, and the stream was also what sold me on Yoshi's Woolly World, because the gameplay for the 3 levels that they showed for that looked, absolutely delightful.
If every other developer, publisher, if Microsoft, Sony, Ubisoft, EA even, had their own Nintendo Treehouse sort of thing. And I'm not just talking about the stuff you can get on like GameSpot or IGN when they do their own little live streams of them, of those employees talking about what they think about the game. I'm talking about actual legitimate Microsoft, Sony employees doing something similar to that. E3 would be so much better every single year. Because
Well, I mentioned to John and a few others earlier, it's like, with all the downloading titles and stuff you can do now, why not have timed demos of all these things during E3 week?
Knowing Nintendo, it probably would crash the eShop. But I just gotta. I don't. As much as I would love it, I don't think that Sony or Microsoft, especially Microsoft, could do this sort of thing, because the Nintendo Treehouse is their translation division. So they basically, and so pretty much every single game that Nintendo puts out goes through that place at some point or another. So these people know all of these games at the back of their hand, which makes them, the perfect people to demonstrate these stuff. And they're kind of, you really get the sense that they all like each other, because, everybody, there was a lot of chemistry with all the presenters, and they all seem to have a real thing for against Bill Trinen for some reason. Like, making fun of Bill Trinen was the running gag of all of the Treehouse streaming. Like, they talked about breaking into his office to steal a plush Yoshi doll that he had, and they talked about how awful he was at Smash Brothers and things like that. It was really actually kind of hilarious that he's the butt monkey of Nintendo, but it's just, I just absolutely want them to do something like this next year, because it gives you such a better look at the demos then.
I will go on and disagree, saying that you think that Microsoft or Sony couldn't do. I disagree. I think Microsoft and
well, they rely an awful lot more on third-party stuff.
Well, yeah, but I still think that shouldn't stop them from doing something like the Treehouse event.
I just don't think that they'd be able. I think that legal stuff and having to coordinate these things with all these different publishers would make it an awful lot harder to have the sort of
Sony and Microsoft have those resources, no doubt in my mind.
I feel like Nintendo's an awful lot more insular, which is in a lot of ways sort of a bad thing, but I feel like in this instance it really helps.
I think it's as simple as being like, hey, Capcom, you want to show off Dead Rising 3? Then come to his booth at like 3 p.m.
Yeah.
I feel like there's probably an awful lot more that would go into that, but
I think them being Sony or Microsoft, they have that power. I think they can do it. I don't think the Treehouse should be something exclusive to Nintendo. I think every company should do something like this.
I don't think it should be, too. I think that, the more gameplay we see during E3, the better it is for everybody. I'm just saying I don't think it's likely. But prove me wrong.
But if
please.
it were, E3 would be a hell of a lot better every single year. I think Microsoft and Sony should really learn from the Treehouse event. It was such a great move.
I was going to say, the Treehouse event was like miles, like by far the best E3 Nintendo's done in a long, long time, because when I think of like the past 3 years, in the last legs of the Wii, they were almost always kind of a meh kind of conference where they'd show stuff like Wii Music and we'd be like, whatever. And, now is the time where like the Wii U is kind of getting some bad publicity because a lot of people are like, Nintendo's doomed. They have no games. Nintendo's done for. They should just sell their games to Sony and Xbox and blah blah blah. And here, after we got like Sony, Xbox, and EA and Ubisoft kind of fatiguing us and being like, yeah, we've seen this stuff already. Yeah, no real gameplay and stuff. And then Treehouse comes out. And the Nintendo Direct in general, and all of a sudden we were all like, we had this breath of fresh air all of a sudden. We were like, oh my god, E3 is saved.
Just look at the Twitter feeds alone. It just like, it got a boost of adrenaline with some pep pills thrown into the mix. Finished off with a nice cup of coffee.
I don't think anybody really cared about anything else once Nintendo started showing off stuff, because like
my eyes didn't change from anything, and then it was like getting in Donnie's case, like, hey, what the fuck are you talking about Sonic Boom for? Watch Smash Brothers. You should watch The Treehouse.
Shut up about Sonic, Donnie.
Who likes that guy anymore?
Yeah.
I just think that the overall attitude with Nintendo is that the Wii U is flagging. People are saying that we're down for the count. It's do or die. And the only thing that I can hope is that next year they don't feel like they can coast, like, not try as hard. Because I feel like that's an awful lot like what Sony did this year. And that's part of why their conference was very meh to me, is that, they, pretty much unanimously did the best last year. So that didn't feel like they had to try as hard. So I just feel like next year Nintendo goes just as hard as they did this year. You have to act like every year could be your last E3, so you need to hit it out of the park every single time.
Like, what I've seen of Nintendo for the past 2 years is that they're finally starting to, like, pay attention to what people are saying about them and what people want in their games. That's why we keep seeing all these adjustments to Mario Kart 8, the things we've asked for, things adjusted to Smash Brothers, the things we've asked for, playing with Reggie and Iwata as memes and as rock stars, and making them do DBZ fights and stuff, because I think they're really starting to get
they even referenced the death stare for Luigi.
Yeah, I didn't notice that until I watched it the second time through, and it's just like, we even have amiibos playing for Mario Kart 8, and then you just see, at first I just thought that they were just putting in Mario Kart 8 footage as filler, and then you have to then death stare Luigi, you have to realize that only became a thing like a week or two before the Direct happened, so they had to cut that in at pretty much the last minute.
So someone is pitching ideas and paying attention to what the community is doing and being like, hey, this is what the community is gushing about. Let's talk about this, or let's fix this. And that's kind of cool,
Yeah, I get what you mean.
Well, it's just nice to finally see from Nintendo, because for the longest time they had the, oh, you don't know what you're talking about. We're the game makers. We know what's best thing.
Because, like, I can't remember the last E3 from Nintendo that was this good. I think it was like 2007. Mario Galaxy, Smash Brothers, and a couple other things scattered about. But there hasn't been an E3 this good since then, from Nintendo specifically.
I think if it hadn't been for Nintendo, this E3 would have been quite underwhelming. Nintendo certainly, I think in my own personal preference, saved E3 for me.
No, me too. You are not alone.
I think it's pretty safe to say, and I admit to I have a stronger loyalty to Nintendo compared to Sony. Like, I'm loyal to Sony as well, and Microsoft. Until I see a better selection of a library of games, it's not like I'm actively avoiding the Xbox One. I just need a reason to buy it, But I'm happy to see that the company that I'm the most loyal to for years and years and years is finally pulling its weight, in a sense that it gets people excited again, because we know Smash Brothers is going to sell, but you also have to think about the long term. What are you going to do when we're not playing Smash Brothers? And I see that you guys are aware of what's going on. It took you until the Wii U learned that it was failing to do so, but they see the message, and I'm glad that they're trying to get back on their feet with that. But 2015, man, I cannot wait to see where that's going to go to.
So are we gonna move into the thing that's gonna take like an hour on its own?
I got an hour, but yes, Smash Brothers.
Called it.
Yeah, I was about to say Ted called it.
Called it. Thank you. Oh,
did you call?
man.
Palutena.
Palutena was like the number one thing I wanted from Smash Brothers was having Palutena on the roster. And I'm pretty sure we all were all in the text chat because we didn't want to have a call going during the conference itself.
Yeah.
But basically, when Palutena showed up on screen, I was just smashing the keyboard in giddy anticipation because it's like, because she was the character I wanted the most. I think that she looks like an awful lot of fun to play. The model is just great, and I love the posts with that booty with the picture from
Snape.
with the gratuitous shot from the trailer, which is awesome. For the record, I love the anime stuff that they do. So yeah, that was that trailer alone probably got me the most excited out of anything that I saw.
And to those of you who think I'm too much of a jerk to Ted and Donnie can affirm this. I was like, bravo, Ted, when she came up.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Good job.
it's good. It's great to see Palutena added to the roster, and of course the other character that was added.
Well, Emil also confirmed that Magnus is in this trophy.
Yeah, they have footage of him on YouTube. He just sort of jumps around and occasionally swings his sword, so he's not that exciting, but it's nice to see him.
As if she wasn't big of a surprise enough, just a few, I'd say
The next
later
day.
that day.
No, the next day.
Or, yeah,
Oh, no,
the
it
next
was
day.
was it later that
Yeah,
day?
the round
later that day.
the round table was right after the Invitational.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
So
We ended up getting confirmed two more characters. Mr. Game & Watch and Pac-Man.
Well, it was sort of a soft confirmation of Game & Watch because they didn't put him back on the roster, but I think that's just because he's going to be an unlockable thing. Because Sakurai did confirm back when Luigi was announced that, yeah, he's going to be unlockable, but because you all know he's going to be in the game, and it's the ear of Luigi, we're just going to announce him now. So it's the same thing with Game & Watch. It's sort of a soft confirmation, but since he's unlockable, they can't officially announce him yet.
No, someone actually was recording audio of that. So they synced of the release, so they synced it up with the actual trailer. It's actually really fun to watch.
They had Nintendo on their website, on their YouTube channel, also has a video of the round, like an edited version of the round table, and it shows the trailer, which is great. And then it zooms in on the yellow circle, and it becomes Pac-Man, and then the crowd just erupts in applause. Pac-Man was. I mean, man.
And they went with the good version of Pac-Man, not the crappy.
it's something we all called, though. I mean, as soon as it was something that not necessarily we all called, but something we all assumed because we got Smash Brothers here being developed not only by Sakurai, but we also got Namco Bandai joining it. And given the premise of Smash Brothers, where it's just all stars fucking each other up, Namco Bandai, Pac-Man, come on, that's got to happen. And sure enough, a year later, here we go, Pac-Man.
It's just the people who expected Klonoa and Lloyd. I mean, I'm sorry, but what do you think about when you hear the words Namco, you think Pac-Man? I mean, that'd be like if Nintendo put in the Ice Climbers instead of Mario in a Street Fighter crossover or something. I'm sorry, I would have liked Lloyd too, but come on, it's Pac-Man.
Well, we can't have our local man ruin everything.
I'm still ever since Pac-Man was officially announced, I'm still trying to comprehend the fact that we have one game where you can play as Mario, Sonic, Mega Man, and Pac-Man, and they battle each other out. My inner 90s child is crying tears of joy at this.
Yeah, if you told a 90s kid that this would happen one day, they probably would laugh in your face.
And once again, I graphically, when Pac-Man was revealed, finally, we saw screenshots and stuff. There was worry that he was going to be like an 8-bit sprite, or he was going to be like the new Pac-Man in his new video game.
The Crash Bandicoot version everyone hates.
Yeah, so when he showed up to be like the PS1 era Pac-Man, I was like, thank you. Thank you so much. That's awesome.
And he uses the ghosts in his attacks, which I actually think is pretty cool. Because, I love Inky, Blinky, Pinky, and Clyde. And it's Clyde, not whatever other name
Sue.
that they... Sue. Yeah, it's Clyde. Clyde.
They changed it to Sue?
In some versions, he was named Sue.
I definitely think that the announcement of Pac-Man was probably what confirmed this probably to be the best roster I've seen in Smash Brothers potentially ever.
We're not even done yet. We're still about 7 or 8 below Brawl's number.
Yeah, including transformations.
No, I hear transformations are completely gone.
No, like if you include the transformations as separate characters in Brawl.
Okay. At the main website, there are 3 empty slots next to Pit. So one's Mr. Game & Watch, obviously.
No, they can just add another.
Yeah, but I'm talking about currently. At the very least, we can say 3 characters. The only 3 characters that have yet to be confirmed that are veterans are Captain Falcon, Jigglypuff, and Ness.
Which are all going to be in the game. Don't act like they're not.
Well, Jigglypuff, I feel
No,
could.
Jigglypuff's part of the main 12. She's not going anywhere. She's not leaving, Ryan.
We'll see come
She's
October
not
3rd.
leaving.
We'll
You
see.
two got kicked out in Brawl and Jigglypuff didn't. She's not going anywhere.
You're 80 years old, Jigglypuff. Go home.
The store closed 30 years ago. You gotta go. If we're just strictly talking character omissions, I don't see Lucas making it.
No, Lucas, Wolf, and Rob are gone. I'm pretty sure.
I just hope that they do something to Falco to make him different and something not, he just throws his reflector forward. Like, I don't know, give him a unique move. Like, Luigiify him a bit more. Especially since Landmaster is Fox's confirmed final smash. Give him the R-Wing, please. Like, he needs that R-Wing really bad.
Yeah, he prefers the air drives Landmaster.
Oh, and since Pac-Man's in it, that pretty much confirms Snake's not coming back.
I don't see Snake coming back either.
Did you guys hear about during the roundtable? There was this guy, and he
I knew you were gonna bring this up.
Yeah, there's this guy, and he's like, I'm a professional Smash Brothers player and tournament organizer, and if I beat you in a For Glory match, can I have a hand in balancing the game? And Sakurai, after he translates, just go like. I don't know what kind of look, but I imagine him just sort of like this "Are you kidding me?" face, and then he just goes to him, "Have you ever created a game before?" And then the crowd just goes like, "Oh snap!"
Yeah,
and it's just the most hilarious thing I've ever heard in my entire life. So
there are just so many variables when it comes to something like game development and balancing, especially. The guy had balls, but I thought it was still a pretty stupid question.
Yeah. I don't expect the game to be perfectly balanced. No fighting game is. It's just one of those. I want you to put effort into it.
They did. It looks like they have a 12 Melee and Smash 64. Sakurai was the only person balancing. In Brawl, they had 4 people. I think this time they have 12. So they're obviously putting in an awful lot more effort into keeping it balanced. But just because you can make a mod that turns off tripping, or you can turn up the weight to make it more like Melee, that doesn't mean that you can make your own game, which is part of the issue I have with people who make Project M and assume that they can make a better Smash game than Sakurai.
Yeah, that's an entirely different issue altogether. But I still appreciate the existence of Project M, if only because it gives that Melee enthusiast an option.
I think Melee enthusiast, and I think are the worst parts of Smash Brothers.
And I understand that, but at the same time, you don't like it, you still got Brawl to play. You don't have to.
Not our problem.
Damn it, Reggie.
When I was waiting in line for the Smash event, 4.5 goddamn hours. I just happened
all
to be...
for 4 minutes of gameplay.
Yeah, I just happened to be in between 2 separate groups of Melee fans, and they were just saying like the most really, really distressing things like, oh my god, how could they put Pac-Man into the game? I can't believe that. They're not putting in Ness and they put in Pac-Man.
They invited Pac-Man?
Yeah. And then they're acting like Brawl is a legitimately awful game, and how Project M is the second coming of Jesus, and I just wanted to snap somebody's neck.
By the way, that's like 4 different things in this conversation alone. There's the second coming of Jesus.
I know. Okay, like the fifth coming of Jesus. Okay, I don't know. It just seems like a
mulligan.
And Ted, I feel for you that you are exposed to the absolute worst of the competitive Smash Brothers community, the dickwads that it's either Melee or bust, and everything else sucks as a result.
And Fox only Final Destination.
Because even though and it's pretty, I prefer the physics and fundamentals of Melee over everything else. I still absolutely love Brawl. I absolutely.
I never say I dislike Brawl.
Yeah, that is just I just think that's a limited mindset that just limits your overall the fun factor that you can have with the Smash Brothers series. And I am looking very much forward to Smash 4. You know, I don't. So what if the physics aren't exactly the same as Melee? I'm not going to let that hamper my overall experience because I'm missing out on some Smash Brothers action. I love Smash Brothers. Absolutely, cannot get enough of it.
Yeah, and easily the best roster so far.
Yeah.
I want people to stop talking about wave dashing and L canceling and frames and percentage points, and I just want people to just have fun playing the game. You know, I just, whenever I get excited about Smash Brothers, I get excited about a music track or a character inclusion or a stage hazard, and I feel like people... You want to know what it reminds me of? It reminds me of the people who go to like the moms at soccer games. Who you know like yell and scream at their kids who don't get goals or whatever, and these kids are like 6 years old, you know, and you know they're making it not fun for them. I feel like that 6-year-old kid with the mom yelling a lot of the time. You know, it's just like I'd rather be having fun playing the game than worrying about that. So you know, I love Smash Brothers too. I just wish people would remember that it is indeed a game, and it's treated as such.
Melee is love. Melee is life.
A good rule for every gamer out there.
Yeah, that's something that's not strictly related to Smash Brothers. That goes for everything, competitively speaking. Anyway, anything that has a big multiplayer base.
Speaking of competitively, though, I hear a certain tournament happened during
yeah, you were
E3.
you were too busy watching Sonic Boom demos to notice. Yeah, there was a demo.
Yeah, with the maximum potato.
Everyone caught that little flub up. The Invitational in itself, I thought was pretty entertaining. Lost a bit of steam in the middle.
Not to get back onto the Smash community can be dicks point too soon, but I felt like you know, the booing was a bit like the booing and stuff was really too much because people were just and you know the way that people were playing, I just wanted to yell at, like, they were playing in one match and they were outright ignoring an assist trophy, and I'm like, guys, I know you're tourney people, but get the assist trophy, pick it up, come on, it'll help you get no, stop. So yeah, that was frustrating, and you know the manners people, it's not polite, don't boo, please.
But at least we had Mega Man!
Oh, man.
Super Fighting Robot!
God.
It's fighting to save the world!
I was about half an hour away from the line in the booth at the Smash Fest thing. I could see the monitor from where I was standing. The character ahead of me was playing Mega Man. He got the final smash in, and I made the commentator reference, and the entire line just burst into tears. Because that was just one of the best things about that, was just how utterly ridiculously over the top that commentator was. Because, you know, because I mean, we all wanted to see it. We see the final smash. We already know what's gonna happen when he grabs the smash ball. What's gonna happen? We'd like to see the beginning of it. We like to see how it instigates. Like, how exactly do you?
I didn't think it was gonna be the black hole bomb from Mega Man 9 at all.
Yeah, that was awesome.
And then it actually happens, and then everyone's off of their feet. They're excited. It's like, wow. I was like, yeah, that's amazing. And then soon enough, it only took a few hours for that to be remixed into the actual Mega Man music title theme from the Ruby Spears cartoon. And I just rolling on the floor laughing. The Invitational itself, I thought was pretty good. You know what? It's like the Nintendo World competitions from back in the '90s. And I thought of the Wizard too.
Super Mario Brothers 3.
Yeah, I would love if they kept doing that with different games.
Well, Reggie did say at the end that, you know, we watched how enthusiastic everyone is here, and we might do something more like this. So, you know, I think that it's indeed very, very possible.
Oh, yeah.
No, have you seen also the image when they're doing the fan favorites, and that one time where like 99% of the people holding up Mega Man, and then it just says there just aren't enough Mega Mans out there to warrant a new game, Capcom.
I want to know if the moment Jeff Keighley went back to his house, ripped down every Pokemon poster he had on his wall. From all the fucking times the audience trolled him with those stray Pikachus, even though he repeatedly told them, don't hold up any Pikachus. He wasn't even in the fucking competition, you jackasses.
he does have a sense of humor about it, though, because later on Twitter, it's just like, I ran into this guy at the Nintendo booth, and it's just him with the giant statue of Pikachu. So I think he did realize that people were kind of, that they were doing it specifically to troll.
But of course.
Yes.
Yeah.
The final match, though, between
Kirby and
was it Hungry Box, was it?
Yeah.
Hungry Box and Zero. I thought was the best part of it. If only because Well, for me personally, the reason why I thought it was the best one is because we had two players that really knew what the hell they were doing from past experience, and the commentators that were hired for this, they're used to the tournament style. They were in their element with this match because
with the 4 players and items, they were kind of out of them.
In terms of the 4-player chaos, the gameplay speaks for itself, which in a sense helped because it's a new Smash Brothers game. We're studying this fucking thing like an exam because we want to see what's different, what's new, and so that helped. But when it came to the finals, that was great too because we're now watching everyone that do these tournaments for a living in their element, and it's just a spectacle to behold. Because
I'm actually going to disagree. I thought that the most fun match to watch was the celebrity quote-unquote match with no real celebrities.
By the way, loved your tweet, Clement. What do you say? Like, he posted the definition of celebrity as a result of it's like celebrity, a state of being well known. I was like, yeah, I don't know any of these people. My favorite celebrity was Majora's Mask.
No, the only person I recognized was Zelda Williams.
Yeah, and you only know her because of her affiliation with Robin Williams. Yeah. I hear she's a great person. She does stuff for charity. But in terms of everyone, I was like, I don't know who the hell these people are.
A lot of tweeners.
Yeah.
It's just that felt like the most like a match that actually I would play at home. Like that's something that I would do with friends. That felt like the most like Smash Brothers to me. I guess. That just shows that I hate tournament play an awful lot because that last match was just nothing but dashing and shields and nobody ever hit each other, and I thought
zoning.
It felt more like just try to punch each other. This is a fighting game. That's what you do. But whatever.
You just don't understand the inconsistency problems you have with these things.
I think you just made that up.
The tournament further confirmed of Nintendo's dominance over E3 this year as well. Like, it was just nice having Nintendo constantly keeping us entertained, even after they had already finished their digital event and everyone was pretty much done with their conferences. It just felt nice how we were still getting news from Nintendo days later, and it just kept me entertained, that's for sure.
Yeah, it's a series of it's escalation completely.
So I guess this is the point where Ted, John, and I talk about our experiences with the infinitely long lines.
The Smash Invitational.
Well, I already talked about waiting in the lines, which was miserable. Seriously, when is this going to be up, John? After
tomorrow.
I'm going to be up all night, so I'm going to be editing this. I'm going to be editing this up all night. It'll probably be ready by tomorrow afternoon.
If that's the case, everybody here is probably, especially if they've listened to this entire thing, the Smash event's probably going to be over by that time. I hope you guys win early, because you're going to be waiting in line.
Donnie, go early, man. If you're going on the Saturday, man.
In fact, go now.
Yeah, go now. Get the hell out of here. Go camp out at the Best Buy, which I heard people did in my Smash Invitational event. It's just people camped out in their car or something or another near that Best Buy just so they could be first in line.
You're all crazy.
Yeah, you fucking freaks. Meanwhile, at the midnight lunch.
It's just I left my house. The Smash event was at Denham, Massachusetts. That was the closest one to me. So I left my house at around 2:30 or so because I wasn't really sure where I was going. I wanted to give myself an hour to get there and be there 30 minutes early. For some reason, my GPS decides, hey, you want to know what the best way to get there onto this Best Buy that's literally like 3 seconds off of Interstate 95? Go through Boston. That's the best way to get there. So I sat.
You should take a boat.
I sat in traffic for an hour and a half and did not get there until like 4:05, and I was shocked that I got there by then. And by that point, the line had already gone like through like 6 different aisles and all the way back around. So I was in line for forever.
I got there 45 minutes early. I waited 3 hours.
I got there. The event started at 4. I was at the Best Buy at 2:25. And the line was already outside around the corner on the building. But everyone was outside because they didn't let anybody in yet. So I thought I was pretty early, but I was still waiting for 3.5 hours.
When did you get to actually play?
All right, since I got there at 2:30, I got to the booth at 6:30.
Yeah, so you were still waiting for 2.5 hours once the line started moving. So yeah, But bring your 3DS. You're gonna get a lot of street passes.
Yeah, 3DS will definitely give you street passes, and of course,
met a few fans there.
Yeah, I met a couple of people too.
As did I. I met more fans after I took the Luigi hat and mustache off, because
The perfect disguise.
nobody recognized me.
Did they make you do the Luigi voice?
No, because at that point I was pooped. It was pretty cool to see the 3DS version of the game being passed around like crack. Like, the guy approached me, like, very sinisterly, like, very quietly. It was like he's a drug dealer. I was like, "Hey, I got the package." I was
You
like,
want some
"I
Smash
don't,
Brothers?
I don't know who you are."
I got some Fox right here.
You want to see something mystical? No!
Hey man, you want to feel my Mega Man?
Oh,
Go away, Jeepers! Lay off the poor beavers, will ya?
yeah. So I
Go have some coffee with cream
or something.
Or something.
Because let me tell you something. This is a happy place. I got to experience Smash Run.
The one that I had just had multiplayer matches, so
Oh, I had to do Smash Run.
I played on, I think, the Kid Icarus stage and the Fire Emblem stage, which were both pretty fun. I played Villager, who is a lot of fun to play, even though I have no idea how you're gonna get good with him. But I will make it that way because he's just so he's the Villager.
I heard Killager being passed around.
Oh yeah, Killager.
Killager.
Does
Does this look like the face of mercy?
Yeah, he really is a ton of fun to play though. I also did some Greninja on 3DS, who seems fun, but I've never been good at playing that kind of character. Like I think the closest I could compare him to was Sheik. I think maybe.
Yeah, he does remind me of Sheik a
and
lot.
I've never been good as that sort of character, so.
A bit more powerful than Sheik, but not as kind of flexible in a sense.
Yeah, it's just the closest comparison I could come up with off the top of my head.
Because I played Greninja for 3DS. Mind you, Smash Run is stupid.
No, Smash Run will be fun once you get because it's City Trial, and City Trial and Kirby's Air Ride was always the most fun when you had 4 people.
That's
playing
5
together.
minutes I can spend actually playing a match.
Well, no, you don't always just want to be playing normal matches, though. Sometimes you want to change it up, and I think that it'll be a good alternative for that.
To an extent, because I can count the total amount of times I ever did coin matches in Smash Bros. With one hand.
Well, it's a much more fleshed out than coin matches, though, because you've got all sorts of different Nintendo enemies, and you've got all drastically different matches at the end. Not just coin matches. So I think that it'll get more use than that, because I'm excited for it. You've got all sorts, like the little balloon guys from Dig Dug were confirmed as an enemy in Smash Run. So yeah, I want to beat up the balloon guys.
I know I would have had a better time if I was able to configure my controller, because I could not, for the life of me, get used to the X and Y buttons on a standard face. You know how standard face buttons are rearranged in a square or a diamond, I guess would be the correct term. I'm used to GameCube, or even the classic controller got it right, where the B button would become the Y button, and the A button would be the B button, and you can use the X and A buttons as jumps. You couldn't do that with the 3DS or the Wii U version because you're using the Pro controller. The Wii U Pro controller.
Obviously, you couldn't change it because it was a demo, but it was just one of those. Yeah, this feels awkward.
It was awkward. It was distracting, and I enjoyed what I played, but I didn't feel I got the correct experience. So. But that still doesn't change the fact that I'm very much looking forward to the game, because I'm going to get the GameCube adapter, and I'm also going to get the GameCube styled Pro controllers, which is another great move by Nintendo, because
I think you guys are being too picky. You don't need a GameCube controller to play Smash. You're just playing into their hands and giving them more of your money.
Yeah. Shut up.
Don't care GameCube controllers.
The only reason I'm getting a GameCube controller from all of those is because I've basically played my GameCube controllers till the point where most of them are worn out, and I need a new one. Like, I actually need a new GameCube controller. I'm not getting one just so that, I can... Because I'm going to use Pro Controller anyway. I classic controllered Olive Brawl, and I'll do it for Smash 4 too. Yeah.
You just need to see the light.
You're not going to be able to do GameCube controllers for the next... There's no way. By the time the next Smash Brothers game comes out, the GameCube is going to be, at the very least, a 20-year-old piece of hardware. They're not going to give
Damn it, they'll find a way.
We're going to run this shit into the ground.
This thing is 13 years old, and they're still trying to sell that damn thing. And for good reason. The GameCube controller is great.
I love it, too, but sometimes you gotta let things go.
It's the best controller they've ever made.
You have to let it go.
I am actually with Ted here. I would honestly be happier if they bundled in a Pro controller, because that's new. That can play on other games, and yeah, we gotta drop the GameCube sometime, guys.
No, we don't. Look, if there's one thing I will say about the Pro Controller, I just wish they swapped the face buttons with the right analog stick, because the right analog stick being on top of the face buttons is awkward. And the only way I can remedy that is by buying a third-party controller. And I only know of one, but being developed by Nyko, I think it is. And that restores the right analog stick below the face buttons, which I've been used to since the beginning of ever. With 3D games. So, nothing against the Pro Controller. Even then, when Smash 4 comes out for the Wii U, I know I'll have the option to configure the buttons. So even if I'm stuck with the Pro Controller, I can at least map the buttons to where I want them so I can get a comfortable experience. But if you're going to give me a GameCube controller option, fuck all. I'm going to use the GameCube controller.
Well, hold on, John. It would be you're saying that the Pro Controller would be awkward because of the right analog stick, but are you actually going to C-stick in Smash Brothers?
I C-stick all the time.
You see? Oh man! Oh, you just lost like 10 respect.
You have to use the C-stick to do Snake's mortar slide trick.
Yeah.
Well, you're not paying. A button and control stick.
If you're gonna do some of the chaining I did with Mario, you need the C-stick.
Weak. C-stick is for the weak.
One of my favorite approaches with Mario is chaining a bunch of fireballs and then hitting you with a down smash. I can't do that with just the A button and down analog stick. I need to have the C-stick so I can do it immediately.
Weak. C-stick is for the weak.
And I say you're just not as intuitive as I am.
I say that you're doing it wrong.
Guys, we can settle this on October 3rd.
That's not summer.
No, you can't C-stick on the game on the 3DS version, so... Oh!
I saw that, by the way. They did it so quickly, too. Right after the 3DS trailer. Super Smash Bros. 3DS, October 3rd, 2014. No! I caught that! That's not summer!
Guys,
you lied to me!
3-week delay? 3-month delay.
Constantly before E3, I was like, oh, we're going to play it in 2 months because it's summer. Oh, we're going to play it in 2 months because it's a summer. And then it's like, October. Fuck you!
It was going to get delayed, guys. It's Smash Bros.
I know! But at the same time, when we had the Smash Direct, it said...
They said
summer. At the worst case scenario, we said... We met early September. Jokingly, I said September 22nd, like the day before the day of fall begins. But no, they wanted to up that 3 weeks after summer ends.
Come on, 3 weeks.
No. I know.
We're giving them a hard time, but it's just one of those. Come on,
yeah,
really.
And do we all buy holiday 2014?
No.
I actually do. As much as I wanted to rip my ears off listening to the people around me at points in the Smash in the Smash event, they got one thing right, and they said Nintendo is not going to let the Smash Brothers come out after Black Friday because that's when everybody will go out and buy their Wii U's.
Well, yeah, they can't afford another dry spell during Christmas.
So it's got to be mid-November at the latest.
This is gonna be a Christmas game, definitely.
It has to be.
Yeah, Christmas game. I have faith, but who knows? Who knows?
After the glory that was Brawl's constant delays,
Oh, you got glory out of that? I fucking hated that, you freak.
I know, I was being sarcastic. But...
I know you are.
But no, I really do hope the game comes out for Christmas or something, because it would be a nice thing to have under the tree or something.
Well, no, even if it comes out December 23rd, I'm going to buy it day one, because we're totally doing a live stream of impressions on the day it comes out, because we're Brain Scratch, and we're freaks. So, yeah.
That's what we do.
My own money. I might as well
going to the midnight release, staying up for 12 hours straight, unlocking all the characters, stages, and stuff.
Well, no, I'm hoping that thing that we guessed, where if you had unlocked all the stuff in the 3DS version, you can just connect and unlock all that stuff instantly on the Wii U. I hope that
we'll see.
Yeah, I hope that's a thing, because having to unlock everything twice sounds like a pain.
Admittedly, I wouldn't mind doing it twice, because to me, unlocking everything is part of the experience. Well, The single player experience.
Well, unlocking everything's part of the experience, but the best part of the experience is seeing vlim, 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 new challenger approaching, and
Yeah.
it's Captain Falcon, or it's Mewtwo, or actually, thinking back, a lot of Brawl's secret characters were kind of lame, because it was like Rob and Wolf and stuff.
Well, because you did it, but that's also because you did it in the Subspace Emissary. Unless you deliberately avoided Subspace Emissary, the
Bam, 2 game controllers, 1 stock matches. Just
that is so fucking boring. I'm glad I never.
Doing that.
I have never done that for Melee. I'm glad I never did that.
I didn't know you
Melee.
could do that.
No, it's just you have to do 1,000 to 10,000 matches.
No.
Just to have people walk off, and I can't imagine how anyone would ever do that. No.
Well, it was convenient because all the stages in Brawl were also unlocked by playing on different stages, so I was able to kill 2 birds with 1 stone.
To an
I
extent.
can't believe you did that. You want to know what I hope they bring back? Because did they have the mission mode from Melee and Brawl?
Yeah.
I don't remember.
No.
Oh, wait, they did?
Oh, yeah, they
The
did.
final match was between Mario, Sonic, and Snake.
Yeah, you're right. He is right.
Okay, because I remember playing a lot of mission mode in Melee, but I don't think I ever touched it in Brawl. So I hope they bring it back.
I mean, honestly, I'd still be disappointed, and I'd call it out if it did take out some stuff that was in Melee and Brawl. Like, I do want those missions to return. I do want Home Run Derby and stuff to return.
Home Run Derby is at least in the 3DS. Hold on, I need to check the Miiverse post, because that was yesterday, I think.
When are we going to get Board the Platforms back?
Hold on. Yeah, that's been gone for like 3.
That was in Brawl.
Okay, hold on.
Well, somewhat. It was a
No,
target.
the way that they phrase it here, home run contest is only on the 3DS version. The Goddess is up for bat for the home run contest, a returning minigame on the 3DS version. So I don't think we're going to see it on Wii U.
Different mini games, I guess, would be an incentive for playing one version over the other, unless you're Austria, you could play both anyway. If there's one thing I could request, I know Break the Targets are going to come back, and I know that just from one of our musical remix that we heard before in the Direct. It sounded like, how you had like a giddy carnival-like version of the Smash Brothers Brawl theme for the Break the Targets. The 4th game also has one of those. I heard that during the presentation, so I figured, okay, that's probably for the Break the Targets stuff. Can we get the option to change music in Break the Targets? Can we bring back the Melee Target music? I love that music so much.
What about Board the Platforms?
Well, actually, like at the end, there was like there was the game with like there was a ton of different stuff like spliced in. Like they had the Fiend's Cauldron from Kid Icarus Uprising, but with coins. I don't know what that was for. They had.
What about Race to the Finish?
Like I think that you can have branching pathways in classic mode this time, because like there was a point when you were on a map and like someone was walking along the map and they got to a thing, and then there were like 3 different paths and they had different of the symbols. So I think you can just pick whatever symbol, like whatever track you want to go on, and choose who you want to fight. I think you can. I think that's.
What about the Fighting Polygon team?
No, they gotta bring that. They gotta bring back multi-man melee, because I loved doing that. There was just always so much to do in Smash Brothers games, so they gotta bring back more. They gotta just they don't bring that back and they only have like versus matches, I think that a lot would be lost from the experience.
Yeah. There's so much to do in Smash Brothers matches, and I look forward to doing it all in 12 hours.
I'm still pumped for the soundtrack, because it's going to be amazing.
Yes.
Yeah.
Brawls was amazing, and this has been kind of underplayed at E3, but I can't wait for the soundtrack. That's going to be so good.
The freaking Rocket Barrel remix, they played it during the Invitational, and I hated those Rocket Barrel stages in Donkey Kong Country Returns. And they actually, thinking back, they haven't announced the Donkey Kong stage yet. But
just to spite you, it'll be Rocket Barrel.
Every character's on Rocket Barrels.
What do you guys think about Donkey Kong's Final Smash being DK Bongos again?
At least they added a timing meter so you can get the timing down. But it's still about as effective as DK Bongos, so...
Yeah, I would have preferred if, say, he got a Rambi crate, jumped on Rambi, just plowed it around to hurt everyone. I think that would have been better.
Or especially after Donkey Kong Country Returns, it's like you hit the guy, and then you have to mash Z and R to do like more damage, just like the punching thing.
Zed, where are you from? Canada. Z. I'm sorry.
Get it right.
I'm just pushing your buttons, your Z buttons.
Don't hate me because I'm Canadian.
What are you, married to Repulsa?
Not that Zed.
But I
Zero
forgot
Suit Samus has the gunship. Love that.
loved that Final Smash.
I pulled off Mega Man's Final Smash at the Smash thingy. I was so nervous too because everyone was like, "Come on, Mega Man, get it!" I'm like, "Fuck."
Oh God, pressure.
The pressure.
I managed to get Olimar's Final Smash, which is the same as Brawl, and I also managed to get Villagers on the 3DS. So I managed to break that guy's leg benders.
Forever alone.
If I remember correctly, he's kind of really upset when the house blows up. He's like, "Guys, I made you a house. Why aren't you living in it?"
Don't you guys like that?
Forever alone. I don't care what they officially call it. It's forever alone.
Okay, I'm sorry. That was a slow burner. I got it.
Oh, alone.
Yeah, alone. Alone. Yeah, not alone. Yeah, sorry. Damn it, now it's not even funny anymore. We had to explain the fucking thing.
Here's a question regarding the future. How much more do you think they're going to reveal before the game comes out? Because we've got 4-ish months before then.
I think there'll be a few more characters revealed, maybe a couple.
And then it'll be released in Japan, and everything will be spoiled for us in the next 2 days.
Well, I don't think we're going to get any newcomers.
No, I wouldn't be surprised if we got one more.
Really? Because I feel like Pac-Man was a great one to end off all that for before,
No, considering the time frame, I wouldn't be surprised if we had one more.
Well, I expect at least a handful of veterans before then,
Yeah.
but not. I don't think that we'll get. I don't think we'll get another newcomer. So.
Well, hopefully Wario comes back.
Well, yeah, Wario. I already say that Wario's confirmed to come back because
There's an Ashley assist trophy. Wario's going to be in there.
No, Ashley's in it, and him and her in the direct. Her and Waluigi both had the Wario logo next to their names, so
Yeah.
Wario's in the game. I don't see Ness or Captain Falcon or Jigglypuff leaving either.
Ganondorf better come back.
Ganondorf better get a sword and not be Captain Falcon again.
But he better keep his Sparta kick.
We've only been asking him to not be a clone for 3 games now.
If you're going to declonify, that's a word now, Ganondorf, keep the forward aerial and the down boot. The down spike. Yeah. I love those.
The DOS boot.
Yeah, the DOS boot. Give me the DOS boot. I love the DOS boot. It's one of my favorite spikes to do in history of Smash Brothers.
The DOS boot and the Sparta kick.
Yeah.
Yeah, but Ganondorf's going to be back because if he didn't make the cut but Toon Link did, I think everybody would be pissed.
But Ice Climbers potentially not be coming back?
No, they're coming back. They brought back the Ice Climbers polar bear. They're coming back too. Hopefully, please.
don't.
I named Ice Climbers in Melee, and I still play.
Oh, so that's your justification. I made them. They need to come back.
No, I play. Ice Climbers are one of my favorite characters to play. Ice Climbers, red Nana, white Popo, color combination for life. Please bring them back. I love those guys.
We still have quite a number of characters not yet revealed. It's amazing how big this roster is going to be.
I'm expecting 45 or so characters total.
I wouldn't say 45. I'd say
40.
No, because Brawl was 39 total.
That's counting every character separately?
Yeah. And I don't think that they cut enough people. That can cut enough people, because if they cut... we're expecting Lucas, Robin, Wolf to be cut. And Snake, because that's 4. They've already announced a lot more newcomers, so... And
actually, not entirely.
No, they've announced more than 4 newcomers. They've got the.
I know they've announced more, but
I'm just saying that I'm thinking we're gonna get more than 40 total. So.
What started as a pretty substandard E3, just turn into a completely different beast when Nintendo brought its Treehouse event. And it just delivered on the gameplay. And, that gives me hope for future E3s because, again, I would like Microsoft and Sony to follow suit on that. I'd love for them to do their own sort of thing like that with either third-party titles, I don't care, or whatever exclusives they have for that particular time of the year. I'd really like that for that to happen and make E3 so much better.
I know people are going to get on us for saying this, but... we all agree that Nintendo won E3, right? I know people are gonna... I know that somebody in the comments is gonna say there is no winners in E3, but come on, we all think it.
If you want to go out and just say who won E3, if I were to answer that question, yeah, I would say Nintendo won, obviously, only because they kept me entertained the most with just how much content they had to provide for us throughout Tuesday and Wednesday and Thursday. So yeah, I think it's clear cut.
Not to be saying that Sony didn't impress me with some titles, and I'm definitely going to be picking up a PS4. But, yeah, that's
Yeah, I already have one, so...
Is it October 3rd yet?
No.
Aww.
Someone's gonna make a Twitter account called "Is Smash Brothers out yet?" No. Is Smash Brothers out yet? No.
They made one for Mario Kart 8, so I wouldn't be surprised.
The countdown begins, ladies and gentlemen. And thank you for putting up with us for 4 hours.
What's wrong with you people?
Good lord.
Yeah, it's been 4 hours.
We did spend an hour on Smash. I knew we would. I knew we would.
Fuck.
Called it.